Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the iFox Juice podcast. I'm your host, Juice, and I'm here with my co-host, Reen. What's going on, Reen?
Nothing much. Just scrolling through Twitter right now.
Yeah, scrolling through MMA Twitter, which is usually not a good idea, but when a fight just happened and we didn't watch it because we're doing a podcast for you guys, I figured probably a good way to start it is to watch a highlight of a said KO between Michael Chandler and Ben Henderson. We're going to watch it here live. And on replay on a Twitter highlight and get our live reaction. So I think we have the videos ready to go, right, Rin?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna watch it right now. Oh
shit already?
Oh, damn.
That was quick.
Yeah. I mean I thought it was gonna be like brutal. It's first round KO. It was it was pretty technical, actually, but, man,
Yeah.
Henderson went down, he didn't really put up much of a fight. Damn, man, I know Henderson's
be more competitive, but...
The first fight was very competitive from what I remember. It's been a while, but, yeah, it was, back and forth. It was like a typical Ben Henderson fight. He didn't win it, but it was close. But this one was damn,
Yeah, got murdered. Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's a bad Friday. Bad Friday night for you, sir. Damn, dude. It's hard to watch this, man.
Former UFC champion Vincent Henderson. And if you didn't know or if you don't remember, this is, I guess, Chandler's last fight. He's gonna test free agency, so that's a good way to get some bigger bucks.
Is he gonna try to make his way to the UFC?
Honestly, if I had to bet money, I don't think so. I mean, I'm not saying he's not gonna. Of course, he's gonna take offers, I assume, but I have a feeling he's gonna stay with Bellator, especially with some of the stuff we've been talking about earlier in the year, how fighters were kind of not sure with the UFC, fighting during the pandemic, and I mean, I guess you can say that. I mean, they were the first one. They were the only ones to kind of stay in business. And they've been doing a decent job of it. But, I mean, Bellator's finally back in play. They're supposed to be going to Showtime. I don't know if that's good for business or not. The one place I hope if he wants to take an offer, that's fine. But the one place I really hope he doesn't go, he better not be this much of an idiot, is to try and go with one.
Oh, God, no. I was thinking about Demetrius Johnson the other day. Wondering what's going on with him because, I mean, one... It's sketchy. It just seems like they're in limbo right now.
Demetrius will be fine, though, I think. I mean, he's got Matt Hume there. Honestly, the whole Matt Hume angle is kind of unethical when you think about it a little bit. He's like a manager, but he also has a stake in the company. And, of course, he manages DJ. I mean, he's been getting money, and that's just the way shit's done in Asia. So, fuck it. I mean, I guess he's playing by the rules if you want to say that. But, yeah, I mean, one is a bit of a sinking ship. I don't worry about him only because he's such a legend, whether the UFC gets him back or shit, Bellator might open up a division for him. He's got options. I'm not too worried about DJ. Maybe he won't make as much money as he was probably making over there, but hey, make as much money as you can right now.
Yeah, I wonder what he's doing with that Twitch account. I wonder how much he's making because, I mean, he could just potentially live off of that.
I mean, he talked about that even when he was UFC champ, right?
Mm-hmm. He's got to be doing something right at this point because he knows he's been through a struggle. Yeah, he's a smart guy. I'm pretty sure he thought through all that before he even went over there.
And you know what? I know this seems kind of who really cares, but he seems to have a good family situation. He seems to really love his wife. They seem to have a good relationship. He's got 2 kids. He seems like a good dad. I think he'll always take the family stuff into consideration. That means making more money or being at home more. He's going to do what's right by his family. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about a dude like that. It's not I'm not worried about him in the way of John Jones or someone that's just gonna blow all their money or clearly doesn't like to be around the house too much, even when they're preaching about stay in the fucking house.
He hasn't been in trouble lately, so that's a good thing. Because I figured he'd fuck up against, I mean, this whole pandemic isn't over. It's not going to be over for a while, so I guess I should still wait, right, for him to fuck up somehow.
As you've told me a few times with Jones and other fighters, don't give him that much credit, Reen. Don't give him a golden star just because he hasn't fucked up.
I know he's been concentrating a lot with this dog, the dog training he's been doing, so maybe that's like keeping him out of trouble.
God, dog. You got a fiance and kids, man, but okay, whatever. Hope he doesn't accidentally shoot that dog like Dick Cheney shoots his friends or something. Can't be trusted with a gun now, can he?
Or say some other command because he's dyslexic. I can't even say the word right now. Holy shit!
He's rubbing
dyslexic. Yes. Fuck, man! I try to make fun of Jones. I can't even say the fucking word myself. Damn it! Fuck you, Jones. I'm an immigrant.
Don't worry. If there's ever a video of you at a DUI and you say that your son is dyslexic, you put your son on the spot, I will disown you, Reen. It's okay. Like, I had nothing to do with that woman.
Please do. Please do.
Podcast is over.
please tell my kid how horrible I am too.
Oh man, this was totally random how this intro came about. I just had the idea to watch the KO live, and it came to this, and I'm glad. We've been so doom and gloom lately. I'm like, maybe just a little something new might refreshen us, and it seems like it has.
Yeah, actually, it was a good idea because usually I open up with some shit that's going on.
It still is. Nothing's good right now, but it's not just this. There's been a lot of crazy shit on MMA Twitter in particular too. We've kind of stayed off in one way or another. You way more than me, but even then we got some sort of surprises on MMA Twitter, especially me, and we're gonna sprinkle that in a little bit later on in the show as well. But it hasn't been all bad, I guess. Even as a shit's still burning around us, it hasn't been all bad, and good to have a laugh. Thanks to John Jones and MMA shenanigans, and I mean, we were talking off air. I guess we should talk about it now since the fights just ended. Valerie Loretta came back and she got an emphatic knockout, first round knockout as well. And we're actually, I like her, as you well know, so I'm cool with it. But even you gave her props.
Yeah, amazing finish, amazing performance. Good on you. Like, you proved, haters wrong, like me. I was hating on her. I was talking shit. And look at her. I love, like I was telling you, like a comeback. Like, just proving people wrong. So keep doing your thing, girl. I mean, you look great at the weigh-ins. She definitely takes her shit seriously. Let her have her fun, man. She's been like a lifelong martial artist, so let her have her fun.
Yeah, see, as much haterade as Rena and I drink, we can still cool off on that shit every once in a while. We can still just drink water like normal people. We don't have to go exclusively off haterade.
I still hate Holly though.
That's different. I think you take it easier on Valerie because she's a brown person, And
she's young, and look at her, what she's doing. Like, she was in Taekwondo, she changed it up, and she's relatively successful in her new field, MMA, another combat sport. The fuck is going on with Holly? Trying to get a title shot again.
Oh my god! Yeah, women trying to have big dreams. Well, wait, just when they're white, Reen, that's when it offends you. Freckled blonde girl.
Her and Cody. Now I got Cody.
Oh man! We're gonna be talking about Cody. We're gonna have some love for the alpha male guys, and we're definitely gonna have some hate when it comes to Cody. It's actually a lot of news, a lot of fights, a lot of stuff to cover. So I guess now that we've gone on about all that, we should just jump into the rewind of the UFC Apex, or the Vegas 5 card, as I saw was being called online. So let's do the rewind for that. First fight we covered was Lando Venata and Bobby Green. And our question was we knew it would probably be close. We just wondered if it would live up to the expectation of the first fight. And it wasn't that close. It was entertaining. I don't think it lived up to the first fight, but it was something to watch. It was pretty fun.
It was, man. It was pretty close the first round, and then Green just did his thing, the second and third round. I think Green dropped Venata with an elbow. What was that in the third round? Yeah.
Third. Yeah, but in the first, I think he almost got dropped.
Yeah.
And then I think he dropped Venata real quick in the first two. It was a kind of, again, back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth. But yeah, he spent a lot of time on the ground just doing whatever he wanted to Lando. So, and he fought with one hand. Did you know that?
No, I wasn't aware. He broke his hand?
He broke his hand in the Guida fight. So not only did he take that fight in 3 weeks' notice, but yeah, he broke his hand. And then 2 months later, he's fighting Lando with the broken hand.
It never fully healed?
No. He was telling his coach, like, I hope it hangs in there and I'll be all right. I'll just fight with one hand. Dude. Jesus. Yeah, I didn't know that until later. I'm like, okay, man. Sorry for talking shit that you didn't finish Guida.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about. I don't think that's talking shit. I think that was like valid criticism to an extent. You saw something there, and I think you made a good point there. I don't think that was exactly talking shit.
But yeah, he was talking about that, and just so happy that he's getting paid out. He's going to pay off his house, and he's motivated to fight some more and get houses for his kids. So I am on board with Bobby Green. I would love to see him fight again after he gets that hand checked out.
Man, he needs to be careful because he can do some real if he does like nerve damage or something to like his wrist or his fingers, like that's something to fuck with, man. He needs to ballsy of him. I understand you need money, man, but take it easy. If you got no hands, I don't know how you're gonna fight. Or if you got one hand, it's definitely going to be harder to fight.
Yeah, amazing though. Amazing performance. That was fun. He got that bonus too.
Fight of the night?
Yeah, I think it was a performance bonus.
Whatever it is, good on him, man. Yeah. One thing I did trip out on this fight though, because I remember the first fight just being a banger, just standing and banging. I was amazed at how well-rounded this fight was. I remember that Bobby Green is a good boxer when he wants to be, and now he definitely wants to be a good boxer. But I'd forgotten how good his kicks are sometimes. And then his Muay Thai, he got Venata in that clinch when he dropped him with that elbow. He was landing some horrible knees and just moving him any which way he wanted, like he was bull cow or something. And his wrestling too, he showed off his wrestling. I knew he had some submissions, but I forgot he has like some pretty decent wrestling too. I guess he used to be a wrestler. And then Venata too, he got some takedowns and was trying to get on top. It was a pretty well-rounded fight, even though it was mostly striking.
Yeah. And I don't want to take anything away from Bobby Green, but I just wonder, like, with Lando, is it time for him to leave Jackson's wing? He's another one that's been out there for a while.
I know he came in last-minute replacement fight for Tony Ferguson way back when, and I remember that was kind of the hype about him. John Jones and a few fighters were hyping him up with this guy that we train with, Venata. He's a weird, crazy dude. But I thought that he had switched camps at least once between then or maybe even before he went to Jackson's, that he was with someone else, but I guess not, huh?
Yeah, I think he's still there.
Has he ever been with another camp that you know of?
I don't recall.
Because I think he is from New Mexico. I think he is from Albuquerque. And Albuquerque, you're either with Jackson's or with NHB, the Tim Means camp. That's all there is over there.
He's just like on a decline, man. He's one of those too. It's like win one, lose one, win one, lose two.
It's just crazy because he's so exciting. Like he's one of those guys that I think is going to take a lot for the UFC to cut him because he's so exciting. And I mean, people like casuals could get into that guy. It's like even some casuals might know him because they just know he fights fucking crazy. If you remember the John Makdessi KO, that spinning heel kick KO, and that one Brazilian guy that he fought on like a day's notice. He triangle armbarred him. Like when he faces the war opposition, he looks spectacular. But when he fights decent guys, it's always exciting. So it's kind of like a win-win, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I would love for him to like just try a different gym, but it is kind of hard too, especially with the environment that we're in. So
Right now, yeah, to move around, to either move or try different gyms. I know it's a different culture in MMA, and a lot of these coaches and fighters that some of them don't really seem to care, but still, like, if you're smart, you gotta be like, yeah, we're probably not gonna be taking new students right now. I would think.
yeah, I would think so too. Well, then again, they might need the money, so they will. There's that angle too, right? Like everybody needs money right now.
That's the thing, and that's not just an MMA issue. That's, as you know, to get into it just real quick. We don't have to harp on this, but that's a big debate around the country right now regarding schools. Yeah, there's some people that don't really seem to be that fearful of the virus and don't care that their kids might get it because they don't really believe in it. But the vast majority is like, can't go to work if I have my kid at home, you know, depending on their age. And then other people are just like, I'm not gonna risk my kid getting sick at all. It's like neither is good, man. Risk your kid getting sick or stay at home, fucking broke, and possibly face homelessness. Like Jesus Christ, you know. But again, these trainers, these fighters, they might have to make some tough decisions that aren't exactly that wise.
Yeah, I was listening to Sean O'Malley's podcast, and they kind of mentioned it too. Like a new kid just came in and signed up for training, but he doesn't really have a place to live or something, and he's living in his car. So priorities, man. Do what you gotta do right now.
Yeah, exactly. What is your priorities? There's no real wrong answers. They're all important. That's fucked up.
Yep.
But yeah, enough of that talk. It was just genuine issues that to get brought up regarding all that. But moving on, Vicente Luque. Oh my God, this is a man. I might be. I've always liked Luque, and I've been a big fan, especially in the last year. Even with the Wonder Boy loss, I think it probably even made me a bigger fan. But I'm full out. I'm just standing for this kid now.
I'm so glad he took some time off. Because, like I said before, like he had a tough like schedule. We had that kid on short notice. I mean, that was a hard fight, even though it was a short one. And then he had like Perry, and then Wonder Boys. He had some tough fights, and then even prior to that, the Barberena fight. So just slow it down a little bit and just move your way up. Man, Henry Hooft, man,
it was still brutal. Wait, is he with
Hooft?
Hooft?
Yeah, he's with Hooft.
Has he been with him, or is that recent?
Yeah. He's been with them at least the past year.
Oh shit. Okay. I don't think I ever paid much attention to like his camp and where he lives or anything like that. But yeah, I think I don't know if you've seen the KO before I made the proclamation, but I am sincere when I say I really think this might be my new favorite knockout of all time.
Yeah? Dude, that's
I think
crazy. So. With 10 seconds left.
It's not even so much the time of it, because I mean I understand you get desperate, like shit, I need to finish this right now. I don't need him to recover in between rounds. But that knee, the fact that he like hoisted him up, which you would think so many fighters would do, they try. And I think like John Jones might be the only one that I've kind of seen do it successfully. But I mean, look how big he is. It's probably not that hard for him. But this dude just knew, like, I'm not going to let you touch the floor. Fucking knee him, hurt him. Like, I don't know how aware he was of how badly he hurt him, but did not waste a chance. Just 3 fucking haymaker uppercuts that just deaded him. Like, damn, that was some world star shit, man. I don't know what is it about KOs that are like, the gnarlier the better. The more that it looks like it could have happened in the parking lot of a fucking Walgreens, the more I like it.
Yeah, that was a crazy finish.
Like prior to this, my favorite knockout, I think I mentioned on the show, my favorite knockout was Vitor over Vanderlei Silva back in the day, because he just blitzed and just dot. And it just seemed like something you'd see at a Walgreens parking lot. But this one too is like, damn, dude, this shit made you feel kind of uncomfortable, but it, kind of turned me on a bit too.
Juice is in love with Luque now.
You know what's weird is like it's kind of reminded me, and I don't know if he's gonna gain this kind of traction, but it kind of reminded me when I first started loving Condit, Like would see all of these highlight reel finishes. I'm like, damn, this kid is so violent. And then I started seeing women online like, damn, he's hot. Like they just liked Condit because he was violent and he was good looking. And I was like, man, Condit's kind of got like a cult following. I'm surprised. I never understood why Condit couldn't be at the level of like a Nate Diaz or Masvidal. You know what I mean? I know he was kind of a soft spoken guy, but look at the way he fights. And if women think he's attractive, you think he'd have tons and tons of women fans. And I think it's the same thing with Luque. Like seeing this guy, like, man, he's just a pretty boy. Can't expect him to fight that good. And you see, like, okay, he's clearly athletic, but does he have heart? Does he have toughness? Does he have cardio? And he has all the above, man. This kid should be a Masvidal Diaz-like star, but I don't know. He may not ever get that traction.
Nah, he's too quiet. He's too polite.
He speaks 3 fucking languages.
Well, he's too polite. Look what they're doing, Amanda. You have to have some sort of controversy, right? You have to have that it factor. It sucks.
Again, it's funny the things that you think would make stars, you know, like, oh,
yeah,
the more violent. Like Masvidal is kind of a weird one because his violence kind of made him a star. The Leon Edwards deal and then the Ben Askren knockout, like his violence spoke for itself. But he might be like the only one. And then of course him just being kind of a character, the Versace robes and just talking shit, and of course having that backyard fighting background definitely is gonna attract people. But yeah, Luque is like a smart guy. I think he has like a college degree and something, like I forget what he is. Like I think he's like a well-educated dude. And how old is he again? He's one of those guys. I'm like, he could be 25 or he could be like 37. I forget how old he is.
Damn, I forgot. Let's see.
I want to say he might be around my age, but I could be tripping. I thought he might be like 39, 31, something like that.
I can't tell with him sometimes.
He definitely doesn't look old, but
again, God damn, yeah, he's 28.
Okay, so yeah, he looks about his age. I'm like, yeah, I knew he was somewhat young, but not too young. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what else he needs to do. Yeah, if he's just gonna keep being quiet, I guess he's just gonna be a cult star, maybe, right? And that'll be the ceiling for him.
Yeah. Plus, he doesn't have like a loud ass manager, so I don't think Ali's not his manager too, right? I don't know anymore with Ali.
No, because he wouldn't have been fighting Randy Brown. I'm quite sure of it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Not talking shit about Randy Brown, but that's not the way Ali does business. The bigger, the better. Right. And all the big fights for my fighters type guy.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so enough about me fangirling out over Vicente Luque.
I know, man. It seemed like you checked out his entire profile or something.
No, actually, I didn't. I was just fawning over the KO, man. I mean, I've known for a while that he speaks 3 different languages. I mean, shit, I didn't even know what camp he was with. I just know I love the violence that he fucking dishes out on people. I will watch any and all his fights now, for sure. I will carve time out. If I got a date with my lady, nope. We got to wait till after the Luque fight. It's going to be that type of deal. That's how it was for Condit, you know? He's going to be one of these guys. It's very rare that I do that.
I'm not getting pussy until Luque finishes this.
There you go. And if he loses, I might not even get it up for you, because what's the point anymore?
Oh, you'll be all sad.
And I thought I said enough, but apparently not. We're going to move on to the main event. Edmund Shabazian, first pro loss to Derek Brunson, of all people. I don't know. Does he have? I haven't looked at his record. I don't know if he had an amateur background. Since he's so young, he may have just jumped into MMA. But regardless, first pro loss. Good on Brunson. I was just shocked, like how easy it was. I wasn't that surprised that he lost. I just didn't expect him to lose that emphatically. I thought he'd probably just get wall installed or lay and prayed on, and that's how he would have lost. I didn't expect him to get kind of demolished.
Yeah, completely nullified. That was a tough fight. Derek Brunson is another one that I didn't know was with Henry Hoof.
He was with Jackson, actually. He was spend time between Jackson's and then some like local dudes, I think in North Carolina. I think that's where he's from. He was kind of one of those guys. I think he, for the most part, would spend time in North Carolina, and then for like the last couple of weeks of fight camp, he would go with Greg.
that must have helped because he's been on like a 3-fight win streak now. And this one, I thought that Ronda's boy will take it. I thought he was gonna go in there and just rush Edmund, but no, not at all. He was so technical. He took his time.
Actually, see, I was impressed like the first round because the first round was pretty competitive. I thought Edmund was being super technical, low kicks, high kicks, body shots. His body shots look real good. I was like, man, he's probably gonna tax Brunson. He's probably gonna get tired, and he may take it in the later rounds. Like maybe he's really upped his fight IQ. But Brunson just made it dirty. He just made it ugly and didn't give him any breathing room. And it's crazy because with Brunson, there was kind of like no in between with him. He was like super boring, like the Elias Theodoro fight. I know you remember that one.
God.
Or he knocks the fucking shit out of you like Dan Kelly or Lyoto Machida. But even then, they're older guys. Like he doesn't really do that to everybody. But he took his time. He made it dirty, and it was relatively exciting. And then in the end, I mean, I guess since we've talked about this for a few fights, what do we make of this non-stoppage deal?
I mean, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, he gave him another chance.
Yeah, it was Herb again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually okay with this one.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't stop it at the end of the second, not because it did or didn't merit it. That's up to interpretation. I saw people say that it should have been stopped earlier. I saw people say that it didn't need to be stopped at all. I think both are a little but especially that it didn't need to be stopped at all. But it is funny. I would think Herb would probably be like, I don't want to get shit talked to like I did a few weeks ago, so I'm just going to stop it early just to be on the safe side. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's between rounds. When it's between rounds, to me, it's like, that's on your corner, man. That's on your corner and the doctor. When the fight's happening, that's all on the ref. It's nice if the ref goes and talks to your corner and to the fighter, like, you need to show me something. I think all refs should do that. If they don't, I don't think you're unethical or nothing. Let the corner and the doctors handle it. But yeah, once they start if they were that fucked up, they come back out and it looks like they don't want to fight, just stop it, man. I mean, yeah, things aren't going to get better.
Yeah, because you gave him a chance. It looked like he was saved by the bell. We all knew that. Well, I think most of us knew that he didn't look right. It continued, like you said, the doctors didn't stop it. But when it did continue, yeah, like he was hesitant. He was backing away. Like
he didn't throw one punch, I think. I think he threw kind of like a front kick, and like that was it.
Yeah, so he was in trouble already. So
yeah,
that can't be, that can't be on Dean. That has to be on the coaches.
And of course, what we're going to expect out of Taverdian.
Yeah, so that's on him, man. You can't blame Dean on this one.
Yeah, I'm glad we're in agreement here. I know we kind of had our differences a week or two ago with the Trinaldo fight. And oh, you know what? I don't think we ever mentioned it because I don't remember when it happened. But I guess in the end, you were right. You were vindicated because Dana was not fucking around anymore.
No. Plus, you're in a different country. And, they're hosting. They're paying for everything. At least act right, man. Don't bring that American bullshit to a different country. Leave that somewhere else.
It wasn't American bullshit. Dan Hardy's British.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Rain. There's this stereotype of Brits, like they're all proper and they have all these manners. And this is like, especially Dan Hardy. He's from Nottingham, man. He's a blue collar dude. He don't give a fuck. I know he's a smart guy, but he's still kind of like, he's still pretty rough. Like,
yeah, but still, like, it is American bullshit. It's an American company. Oh, it's a fight game. It's this.
You mean like the stereotype of the brash?
Yes.
Yeah, MMA. Yeah.
You're in a different country. You're in a country where women are, not treated the same, and there's certain things that you have to follow when you can't even take CBD there. Hello, act right. You're in a different country.
Maybe that's why Dan was so frustrated, Maybe he hadn't smoked weed in a couple of days and weeks, and he's like, fuck this shit. I'm going to call all this bullshit out.
It's possible he was agitated. It happens. I'm not saying I'm like experienced or anything, but...
Like, you've seen Half Baked, right?
Yeah.
Remember that scene when he'd stopped smoking weed for a few days and then the
Yeah.
scientist ran into him like, man, clean this shit up. He was all like, I got real agitated very easily. That was Dan Hardy basically. It was just throwing fits in the locker room and shit.
Yeah.
Just want my weed.
You have a good point because he kept on going on and on and on, making all these videos.
I don't know. Seems like a lot of MMA Twitter is doing shit like that too, though.
That's true. That's just the nature of the beast now, since we can't go anywhere.
Quarantine and protests and economic troubles. Yeah, it will probably do that to you. Although I'm pretty sure Dan Hardy's relatively safe. I think so.
I like Dan Hardy too. Don't get me wrong. He follows me. We follow each other. I love him. He's cool.
Me too.
But it's just some places you just don't act like that. You gotta act right.
You gotta act right. Yeah, there you go. All right. I guess we can somewhat agree. Last week it was like agree to disagree. I see your point now, and you're definitely more corporate and HR than me. Those are not my strong suits. I'm a blue collar guy through and through. Like, you don't want to see me at work, man. This is kind of me at work as well. So slightly more buttoned up. It's not much difference. What you see is what you get with me for the most part. But yeah, I guess we've been talking about, we were talking about earlier with Lando and Jackson. I mean, this is a thing I've said it over and over again with Edmund, with Shabazi, and I couldn't trust him because Edmund Taverdian's his trainer. Now it seemed like people were like, dude, he needs to leave Edmund because he had one loss, which I don't think is necessarily fair. I guess kind of in defense of Edmund Taverdian. I don't think it's fair to just shit on him after one loss because it could have happened with anybody. But do you think he'll see the light just in general because Edmund is not a good trainer, that he will just leave him possibly sooner rather than later?
It's possible he will because, I mean, he grew up there pretty much. So it would be smart for him to do that. But at the same time, though, like if you really look at Derek Brunson's record, he's only lost to the top, really. I mean, Izzy, Jacare, Silva, Whitaker. So
and he should have beat Anderson. I mean, everyone says so. Even the people that hate Derek Brunson, like, yeah, he won that fight.
He won that fight, exactly. So he's still there. He's gonna give these young guys problems no matter what. Especially with him, it just seems like he's getting better and better. Even at this stage, he's 36 years old.
Damn, yeah, he's not that young.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, oh shit, I forgot he was in Strikeforce for a long ass time. He was one of those guys that came over.
So, I mean, to your question though, yeah, I think so. It would only be smart for him to do that. And it's possible that Ronda would probably suggest that as well if she's a good manager.
Eesh.
If she's a good manager, she would suggest maybe training elsewhere. She can't be that loyal to him. I hope she's not because it's not about her. I hope she's not. It's not about her anymore. So I hope. I know you're over like, because she stayed, but that's just her and her loyalty. And there's this young kid she has to look after. I'm hoping, man.
Here's the weird thing. You're not wrong. And if I don't even really fault Ronda because, again, yeah, that's her choice. She whether she acknowledged that there was a problem and didn't leave or just couldn't see there was a problem because she's so loyal, that's her issue regarding her fight career. Outsider looking in, taking care of this young kid, I would think that if I was in her position, regardless of how loyal I may be to a person, I would have that ability to be like, you might want to look at other options. I would think I would say that. And I don't think Ronda's a complete dunce, and I don't think she's that selfish. I think she could say that, but her loyalty is so strong. Like, her loyalty is something that I cannot fathom. So it's hard for me to believe that she would actually do that for him, to advise him that way. I just find it hard to believe because she was so hardcore.
I hope not, because especially with her mom still breathing down her neck too. I don't know, man. I don't understand that loyalty. I really don't.
I don't either. I'm glad you said that. I don't get it either, man. I don't get it. But I'm gonna sound so out of my element here because this is nowhere near what we're witnessing here. But I've trained in a Muay Thai gym, and I've had a loyalty to them too. Now, granted, I'm not a pro fighter. I'm not an amateur fighter. I never have any aspirations to do so. But especially if it's your first one, it's kind of like a first girlfriend. Like, kind of teach you a lot of stuff, and like, can't leave them. They were there for me, and some people just never grow out of that. So I definitely get a little bit of that. I can't get it in that way. Like, shit, they were there for me when I got my amateur fight, my pro fight, my championship belt. That's a whole other level of like, damn, they did this for me. But I definitely see it on a human level where you might get those kind of feelings.
Yeah, I was like that too, loyal with my first gym, and made mistakes with that, and I regret it though.
See, well, yeah, well, you're definitely wise. I wouldn't expect less from you, but it takes a while. I mean, I'm sure you weren't super young. I'm sure it took you a while. Like, you're probably maybe in your 30s or so when you finally realize, like, it takes a while, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I know. And sometimes you got to step back. So yeah, you're right. With Ronda, since she's not fighting anymore and it's been years, maybe she's like, okay, I can admit now that was probably a mistake. Don't want to fuck it up for this kid. We can only hope.
I mean, her husband is a perfect example of what might, happen as well. True. They're both kind of fucked up, right? So I'm hoping, man.
Maybe she might not admit it to herself, but then you see, yeah, my husband was a very good fighter. He came with me, and the problem's either me or him. I hope she doesn't say herself because that just seems destructive.
Yeah. So
you're right. Right. Very good point. Very good point. Before we move on to the next Vegas preview, I did want to mention, because I want to say that when we were recording last week, it also had just happened. Invicta, I want to say it was Invicta 42. I'm getting the numbers messed up. When it went past 20, I stopped remembering the names. But anyway, Invicta happened last week, and the main event, Montserrat Ruiz, which Montserrat is one of those names that I didn't even know existed prior to last week, and it's one of those horrendous Mexican names that I can't get over. Every time I say it, I'm just like shaking my head and in disbelief. But anyway, Montserrat Ruiz from Mexico defeated Janaisa Miranda in the first round, nasty ass armbar finish, and you saw it prior to recording. Reen, what did you think?
Oh my gosh, she's so nasty, man. I thought she broke her arm. It was so bent and so nasty. She just had that. She had that arm trapped and just beating the shit out of her, beating her face. And the next thing you know, like, she took her arm and looked like she fucking broke it in half. It looked awful.
You know what's funny is, like, that fight wasn't that technical, and then the way she brought her to the ground, it was head and arm throw and started punching her in the face. Kind of very Rousey-esque, to be honest. It was kind of a throwback, It wasn't like the highest level MMA. But that armbar, man, I don't know if she's practiced that or she just had the wild idea, just pulled that out of her ass while she had her in that position. But Jesus Christ, that was effective and terrifying.
Nasty. What weight class was it?
Janaisa missed weight. And that's the thing with her. I tweeted after the fight. It's weird because I genuinely love Janaisa Miranda. She's such a fun fighter. She's so exciting. And I think if she had all her ducks in a row, she could be a star, even in Invicta. But she blows weight, and usually when she blows weight, she loses as well. It's been a few times now, so I'm in a weird spot because I love watching her fight, but it's hard to root for her because she misses weight. So when she gets knocked out by Emily Ducote or armbarred in vicious fashion with Montserrat Ruiz, I'm kind of cheering, even though I like the girl.
Damn, because I was watching and I'm like, these girls are fucking thick. So what are they, like bantamweight? What are they?
I want to say 115.
What? They're 115?
Yeah, bigger girls for sure. Janice, and in different ways. Well, Janaisa's just yoked, and Montserrat's a little bit on the thicker side, but yeah, you can definitely tell they both cut a lot of weight. But in Janice's case, it's been like 3 or 4 times in a row, or 3 out of 4 fights where she misses weight. Like, come on, man, this is just ridiculous.
Dude, they were big girls. I didn't think they were straw weight. 115. Jesus. All right. Different countries, so thick girls.
And Montserrat, man, she's just an interesting look. Well, her nickname too, Mad Conejo, angry rabbit is what it translates to, and then just tatted the fuck up her throat and thighs and legs, and yeah, she's just an interesting character, man. And then just that name again, it's scary on its own. It is not a pretty name. I'm sorry, Montserrat. You're a country woman, but don't
Montserrat.
dig your name, man.
Is that like an old school name?
I don't know.
Not common.
It's definitely not common, but I don't know if it's old school. I don't know. I even asked my parents, like, have you heard this name? And my mom specifically told me, I have heard that name, but not in Mexico. I heard it here. I heard it in the States.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Possibly newer name. Yeah, I'm not sure. But it definitely sounds like indigenous, like deep in the heart of the country.
Yeah. Montserrat. That's how you say it? Montserrat?
Montserrat. Yeah, I mean,
Montserrat.
double R, rolled R, Montserrat. Yeah, it's not pretty. But she's a badass fighter, so I forgive her. I forgive her parents.
Forgive her parents.
I don't forgive other Mexican parents.
Oh, shit.
These fucked up names of Facundo and Policarpio and Pamphilo and Maclovio. Fuck all those names.
Oh my God.
They're fucked up ass names, man. I'm sorry. If you're listening to this podcast and you have one of those names, I'm sorry, but I hate your parents. Just know that.
It's your parents that he hates. It's not your fault.
Yeah, but don't take it personally. You know, it's not like I'm gonna cause him harm or anything. Just named you terribly. But anyway, that does it for the rewind of last week. So let's get into the preview for UFC Vegas 6. First up, lightweight bout on the prelim portion of the card. Nasrat Hapkarast is going to take on Alex Munoz. Hapkarast coming off a KO loss of Drew Dover. Pretty brutal one. Alex Munoz fought in the Contender Series, beat down Nick Newell. That's what made me a fan of this kid. Not that I hate Nick Newell. It's just he was totally heartless with him. And I know that sounds fucked up, but I wanted to see that because I know fighters can get their own head fighting a dude like Nick Newell. I'm like, man, he's got a hard heart, and I respect that. And he got another win on the regional circuit after that, and now he's finally making his UFC debut. I was surprised that he didn't get the contract after beating Nick Newell, but then again, Nick Newell never really got a chance in the UFC either, so that's that. So yeah, good fight. What do you think about this one?
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure if this is like too soon for him or not. Ooh.
For Munoz?
Yes, for Alex Munoz. He trains at Alpha Male. Huh?
Yes. Well, no. We were mentioning earlier that there was going to be some love and some hate for Alpha Male. This is definitely on the love side.
Yeah. I just feel like, I know he's a collegiate wrestler, and Nasrat has had some problems with, wrestlers here and there, but I don't know. He's a tough guy, and I don't know if this is just way too soon for Munoz right now. I mean, like, Nick Newell he's a good fighter, but I'm sorry for saying this, but it's Nick Newell. Man, I'm trying to be nice. It's so hard, dude.
No. That's exactly my point of why I like Munoz. Like, I don't think you and I are saying that Nick Newell's a shitty fighter. He is a very good fighter, but there's levels to this, and Munoz showed that. And the fact, again, that he had that heart to just be like, fuck you, this is mine. I don't care who you are or the reputation you have. I got to take this from you. I think that shows a lot about his character, and I think that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Yeah. But like you said, there's levels to this. So I feel like, yeah, there's levels to this, and maybe this is just too soon right now. So I'm just going to go with Nasrat.
That's a good point. And as we've talked a lot about this in the past few months, this is just normal in the quarantine era. So many fighters coming in last minute, either to take on other newcomers or taking on full-on veterans, sometimes surprising, sometimes not. if he was gonna make the jump this quick, it had to be during a time like this. It had to be on a last minute notice type thing. That's one thing I did not see if Nasrat had a different opponent prior to this, because it does seem kind of like a weird fight to make up. But you got to do what you got to do, I guess. I'm actually gonna go Munoz here, which is kind of rare for me to go alpha male guys. But in this case, like I said, I'm a big fan of this dude, and I like Nasrat a lot too. But when did he get knocked out by Dober? Was that, I think that was January, right? I want to say that was the Cerrone McGregor card.
I think so.
Yeah, it's been like at least a good 6 months. So I hope he's okay. I think he probably recovered somewhat from that already. But I don't know. Maybe that was a sign of things to come. So I'm kind of would hedge my bets here. I'll just go with Munoz. Not with a lot of confidence, but I've liked what I've seen from him so far. Next up, Tim Means is going to fight Laureano Staropoli. This should be a fun kickboxing match. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about this one. This should just be pretty goddamn violent.
I just wonder if Means' chin will hold up with this fight. Because Strapoli can hit pretty hard, but I feel like his cardio is questionable. And that's something that Means definitely has. So if he can hang in there, he could probably piece him up. So if he does that, it's his fight to win.
Yeah, the thing with this fight is that as fun as it should be, I don't think Tim Means has seen anything he hasn't seen before. Staropoli is basically a kickboxer through and through. He's got some good techniques. He does hit pretty hard. He does, he'll throw in knees and kicks and shit that can definitely knock you out. But Tim Means has seen that many times over, and he's got pretty good grappling on top of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if he actually tries to take him to the ground and possibly submits him. So I think I'm just going to take Means here.
Yeah, same. That would be the smart choice, taking him to the ground. I'm surprised he's still fighting ever since that injury. I still can't get that out of my fucking head.
You know what's weird? You brought this up before, and every time you bring it up, I always forget about it. And every time you say it, I'm just like, oh, fuck, why? Why you got to remind me of that?
She's still around, bro. Like, it's crazy. Dirty Bird is still around. He's up there too, 36.
Yeah, and survived Albuquerque crystal meth. Getting it straight from Walt White and shit. You'll forget that about Tim Means. I think he went to prison too. Was on hooked on crystal meth. Yeah, he's a wild man. He's a crazy motherfucker. But yeah, it's one of these fights too. If he takes him down and just does a technical, works his strengths to Staropoli's weaknesses, I'm cool with it. I want to see him win. But if this is just a banger and they just slug it out on the feet and it's a 50-50 chance whether he wins, I'm cool with that too. Why am I going to be mad about a banger, you know?
Yeah, this is a fun fight for sure.
So that was also on the prelim portion. Now we're getting to the main card. Yana Kunitskaya is coming back. Going to fight Julia Stoliarenko. Pretty sure I'm saying that right. Yana has not fought since December of last year when she got stopped by Aspen Ladd. And Julia, I don't know if it's Julia or Julija. That's how it's spelled out, but I'm pretty sure it's Julia. She's from the same country that Rose Namajunas' parents from Lithuania. I think she was, the last Invicta Bantamweight champion. She had a fight possibly of the year on the women's side with Lisa Versosa, and now she's making the jump. Yana I forget who Yana's original opponent was, but yeah, she's making this jump to the UFC.
She was supposed to fight Kelly Vieira.
That's right. Did she get COVID too?
I don't know what happened to her, actually.
It's fucked up that any Brazilian that comes up, and shit, even Mexican now, because of Alana, I'm starting to think they all got COVID. I know, shit, we're in America. We should say this about Americans too, but I don't know. Maybe that's my American exceptionalism here.
Yeah, Yana was supposed to fight Catlin first, and then now she has her new opponent. And I saw her fight again, that one bloody one, the last fight she was in.
Yeah, Versosa.
She's a tough chick, man. She's so aggressive, and she'll just get in your face. I wonder if Yana can hang with that, because with the Renault fight, she didn't like that. She was getting beat up. And she, I believe, gassed out in the third round. She couldn't hang with that, getting pieced up.
this should be interesting because Diana's obviously Russian and Julia is Eastern Bloc European. She's in Lithuania, which I want to say was under communist control, the Soviet Union control. So just two rough ass Eastern European white women, you know?
Yeah.
Jesus, it'd be crazy.
Man, I just wonder if she can handle all that pressure.
She's definitely gonna bring it. I mean, unless Octagon jitters get like real crazy on her.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is really a thing in the pandemic time, you know? It's like,
oh yeah, that's true because there's no crowd.
Yeah, and as you said, like kind of last week, like YOLO, like fucking go for it, man. Like you might not ever get this chance again. Whether it's the UFC or just fighting like this, like just go for it, man. I think a lot of people have adopted that mindset. Like, what do we got to lose? We got to make money. We got to feed ourselves.
That being said, I think I'm gonna go with the new girl. I'm not sure about Yana.
Yeah, we've kind of made mention on the show, and I don't want to bring anything up because we don't know. But yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from because who knows what she's been going through in the past couple of months, right?
Yeah, because I thought she was pregnant and they didn't say anything. Nobody's really mentioned it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you saw what I saw, right?
Yes.
So, like, what happened?
Or I showed you, but we definitely showed each other in one way or another.
Yeah, we talked about it. It's like, nobody's saying anything. Like, okay, she's good now. Everything's cool. So, hey, we're not even the journalists, and we're over here, like, concerned. concerned for her.
It's so weird that no one's brought this up.
It is, right?
Especially like Fernanda Proches or some of these female MMA journalists. Like, I thought this was kind of a big story when it came out, and then it just disappeared. Like, are we the only ones that see this shit that remember this? Because I didn't even remember till you mentioned it. I was like, shit, you're right.
Yeah, was that around April?
So I think it was like in the beginning of the COVID stuff. Yeah. Yep. March or April. Yeah.
Did she get us with that? I don't know, man.
Again, they're like, did she just fucking pull a fast one on us? That'd be really fucked up.
Huh.
Oh.
Well, regardless, I don't think she'll be able to hang with her. Got that pressure.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna agree with you here. I'm a big fan and believer in Stoliarenko, and I understand that Yana is a big step up, but yeah, the way that she went to battle over Versosa is that crazy and that tough in every fight, and she just out crazied her and out toughed her. that's not an easy thing to do. So, yeah, I'm a believer. She can probably get it done. Moving on to the co-main event, Chris Weidman is going to take on Omari Akhmedov, and this is a fight that ever since it was announced, we just wondered why. And my opinion has not changed one bit.
I don't understand it either. Like, what's his game plan? Is he going to try to take him down? He's from Dagestan.
And he's big as fuck. Weidman was always one of the bigger guys at middleweight, like when he was champ, and then he kind of weirdly shrunk down, weirdly enough. But anyway, this is one of those fights that even if like he was in his prime, I'd kind of be concerned. He hits hard. He's a big, tough wrestler. Doesn't seem like good things for him.
I think he's just going to grind him out. I don't see anything positive for Weidman.
You think Akhmedov's going to grind Weidman out?
I think so.
I would think if there's any way that Weidman won, it would be him doing that to Akhmedov.
Yeah, but how? He's going to take him down? Those Dagestani dudes are just like totally different. They're a different beast.
I was going to say he nearly took Yoel down, and then he immediately got countered and just looked like a goddamn fool. So I can't even go off of that. Yeah. And that was a while back, too. He was still better then than he is now. So, all right, let's just go with the inevitable. If Weidman loses, especially if he gets knocked out the way we think he might, where does he? I mean, we've kind of been saying this since the Dominic Reyes knockout, his last fight. Like, where does he go from here?
Stop. think about your brain. He was talking about how he was having like a tough weight cut too with this one.
I mean,
So
I think he's had tough weight cuts before. I think he's always made it, but I don't think that's anything new. That happened to him when he was young. Of course, it's gonna happen when he's older. And then he just came down from light heavyweight, so he'd probably been putting on muscle or not really watching his diet.
if you know you're on a decline and you know you're trying to prove something, then wouldn't you be a little bit more dedicated? That's where I'm like, what? You're having problems with your weight? Like, you've already been here before. Why are you here again? And that can't be good for your brain. Like, you getting all like knocked out several times and you're having a tough weight cut. Why don't you be a little bit more disciplined with your cuts? I don't know, man. It just like bothered me when he was talking about that. I'm like, what? I know you're older, but come on, man. You got to think about your health, your brain overall.
That's what I was gonna say. He's older, and it seems like by most accounts, that seems to happen. Like Trinaldo, like we kind of talked about this a few weeks ago. Like he's always been good. He's like in his 40s, and I don't think he'd ever miss weight. Or if he did, it'd been like by a few ounces, and all of a sudden he loses by 5 pounds. Like what the fuck happened here? You just get old overnight. It just happens sometimes like that.
True. I feel like this could be like a gimme fight for Weidman on paper, but I don't think it's going to end well.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm gonna go with Akhmedov. I'm assuming you are too.
Yeah.
You know, before we get into the main event, and before there's something we didn't mention in the rewind that I just remembered that you reminded me of with this Weidman stuff. Did you see how many people were getting fucked up last week with the fights? I think it was Mearshart that pulled out like a second before his fight was supposed to happen. Jojo feigning in the back and a few fighters feigning beforehand. Did you catch all this?
Yeah, I caught it. And Jojo put out a statement, but they didn't say like why she fainted or what happened, or all they said was like she got checked out and she's fine. So what was it? What happened?
I never saw any updates. I didn't even see that thing with JoJo, so I don't think they ever mentioned it. Jesus, that's fucking scary, man.
Yeah, John Wood caught her. They, you know, that's good that he was there to catch her. Because could you imagine like her passing out and then potentially hitting her head or something? Yeah, so that's scary, man. But nothing.
It's one of those things too. Like obviously they're fighting in dangerous times with COVID still going around. I don't know. I mean, I don't think no one said anything about them being sick, so I don't. That's not really like a concern. At least I don't think. But it's just weird. Like so much can happen. Anything can happen nowadays, you know.
I was going kind of like edgy broad and thinking like, man, I wonder if they're just like telling them not to say anything because of this whole COVID thing, or because this is two people, like one person passing out before the fight and then JoJo passing out after.
Yeah, it's strange. And then like, you know what? If this was in Abu Dhabi, I wouldn't even really be tripping because I'd be like, it's the heat.
Oh,
that would make the most sense in the world. You know, it's like, well, yeah, of course they're gonna pass out in 120-degree weather, but they're in Vegas, which is still, I'm sure, ungodly hot. But especially JoJo, who's been living there for a while, I'm sure she's used to it. And then Mearshart, who I'm sure has fought in Vegas many times, like should be nothing new to him. And the Apex seems like a decent place, so I don't know. But yeah, anyway, just you reminded me of that. Sorry to go off on a tangent, but yeah, just something that I remembered. And we will talk more about JoJo and her fight later on. Don't think we forgot it. It was just bigger news ahead, so we decided to skip it. But now on to the main event of this weekend's card. Derek Lewis and Alexei Oleinik, 5-round heavyweight fight. Does this go past 3 minutes? And if it does, is there any way it's good?
Dude, I see a knockout. Do you see a knockout?
Lewis?
Yes. I feel like there's going to be a knockout.
We've seen Oleinik get knocked out by, Overeem, Walt Harris in spectacular fashion.
Mm-hmm.
But then we've seen Oleinik hurt, and then strangle Mark Hunt and winning a decision over Verdum. So I don't know if you can count him out.
There's no way he can submit Lewis.
You don't think so? Lewis has like no ground game.
Unless he like completely like just like gasses him out or something and takes him to the ground and that's it. Because No, Derek Lewis that's a tough man to keep down. You have to piece him up. You have to gas him out. And he's been looking great lately. He's been working on his cardio.
Actually, I'm kind of gonna jump the gun here. I'm actually gonna pick Olenek only because I just remembered something when you said that he looks great. Maybe it was he jumped the gun himself, but I'm gonna just take him at his word to say there was something behind it. Remember that interview with Ariel?
Huh? Which one? What are you talking about?
It was a little bit after he beat, what was his face, Latifi, and he said that there was a possible life or death issue with him.
Oh shit! What the fuck was that about? That's another one that wasn't followed up with.
Never been addressed. I mean,
what the hell was that?
Maybe he was trolling. Maybe it was something that he thought was going to be bad and ended up being nothing. But just because it hasn't been spoken about, and again, the pandemic has brought up weird sentiments and ideas in fighters. Maybe he's just trying to go out on his shield. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean to sound morbid, but maybe he's just taking this fight as, yeah, of course I want to make money, but just fuck it. You never know when my last fight's going to be.
Now I don't even. No, I'm going to stick with Derek.
I mean, that's not a reason to pick against him necessarily. Like, again, it could be nothing. And even if you believe it, yeah, you want to root for the guy. And he can definitely win it, but I have my concerns. And
that's so weird. That's another one that maybe he knew someone was coming because, you know, he loves Trump. I don't know.
He was getting memos from Trump, like, take cover, Lewis. This shit is coming.
Yeah.
Get your pickup truck.
Oh, Jesus. I wonder how he's feeling about all this right now.
Nothing in the world would be funnier than Derek Lewis getting, like, from the top down memos from Trump. It's like when Alex Jones goes on about these things, like, I got these secret documents, I have connections to the CIA and all this shit, and it's like, really, dude? Like, people are telling you this crazy shit that no one's supposed to know. The fucking Alex Jones of all people, and then yeah, Derek Lewis on the other hand.
He's the one that's getting all the White House briefings. That's why Trump's not reading it.
He's known about aliens. And, you know, he got elected when we just found out a week ago.
Yep.
He knew the Beirut explosion was gonna happen. We should have joked about it. That was terrible, but
oh my god, dude!
You know, it's I don't want to say it's funny. It's just weird. When you sent me that video, I didn't know about it. I like saw something trending, but I didn't see the video. You sent it to me. I never clicked on it. Like, I just saw like smoke, and I was like, okay, there's a fire. I was like at work, and I was like, I'm busy, and this is probably just okay, whatever. Crazy shit's happening in the world. And then later on in the day, someone else like, wait, is that what she sent me? And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, did you see the one with the bride?
Yes, my sister showed me that.
Oh my god,
that shit doesn't even look real. That looked like a Christopher Nolan movie, man. That looked like Inception or The Dark Knight or some shit.
Yeah, it's so crazy. She was waiting like 3 years to get married because her husband, trying to get her husband a visa and whatnot. She's actually a doctor in the United States.
Oh wait, that lady was I thought she was just there. I didn't know she was the bride.
The chick with the wedding dress?
Yes. Well, no, I seen her like with the hijab and stuff. She had like a pink one on. I didn't know that was like wedding stuff. Damn.
Yeah. Yep. They try to continue on and just have a little cake and not think about things. But she was trying to help people. Because, you know, she was trying to help people while she was out there with her wedding dress on. With her dress on. Before they took shelter. Because she's a doctor. She's a beautiful woman, by the way. Beautiful and amazing.
I will say to the day I die that Middle Eastern women are the most beautiful women on earth. I will die on that hill. Crazy shit's happening. I know we didn't start off with doom and gloom, but yeah, just again, how we always talk about the pandemic and shit going on, it creeps into everything. And I guess just the fact that Derek Lewis is a Trump supporter brings up all this bullshit.
Right.
I guess it's probably better that we sprinkle it in here and there than just open it up with doom and gloom. So sorry guys, but yeah, don't hate on us. We're trying our best to make light of stuff and be okay with stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
But back to Lewis. Yeah. Back to Lewis. You said you're going from, in spite of all the possible concerns, just to be on the safe side, just because that came to mind. I'm thinking it more like gun to my head. I have to put money on somebody just because that is a possible issue. I'll just go with Olenek. Nothing against Lewis. Don't care if he's a Trump supporter. None of that. Just, yeah, who knows? If it's a health type thing, and then with COVID going around, you never know, man. And then, there's got to be fighters who've probably gotten sick that nobody knows about. Especially Lewis. He's in Texas. Texas has been hit pretty bad, and they never really closed. So, yeah, it's very possible. We'll see. I mean, we've only seen like one or two fighters fight that had COVID. I think they've won, but they've been short fights. So I don't know what there is to say about it. There's supposed to be long-lasting damage in the lungs and this and that. Obviously, it doesn't affect everybody the same. So I'm just making assumptions here with Lewis. I was just, again, something he said. I'm taking his word for it. So that's the only reason I'm gonna not go for him.
I'm just gonna trust that he had a lot of sex during this quarantine, challenges, and he's had to stay at home, and his wife took care of him, and he's on point with his diet. So I have a lot of confidence in him.
Ate a lot of ass, as he likes to do, even though people tell him not to. Because we can't have any more goddamn rights in this country.
Oh, Lord.
But not really. I guess that's a good way to end it with the preview. So that's going to do it for the preview of the Vegas 6 card. Now we're going to get into some headlines. And first up, Jose Aldo is totally cool with the job that Leon Roberts did in his title fight against Petr Yan. I kind of considered not putting this in the headlines because fighters are going to be like this more often than not. But I don't know, man. That's the only guy that can surpass Herb Dean as far as bad stoppages this year. And it always kind of breaks my heart when I hear fighters talk like this, because I understand they're warriors. I understand if I was a fighter, I would most likely be the same way, like more than likely be the same way. Most, like 99% of fighters are going to be this way, but come on, man. Like, I know you're too close, too close to the woods to see for the trees, but I just wish he could see it through our eyes, I mean, I know it's like an impossible ask.
Is he still suffering through like head trauma? Like, does he remember? Did he even see what happened?
How could he not?
How
could he not be suffering from head trauma is my question.
I mean, I guess it's great that he spoke up. He's like, yeah,
Oh, Leon Roberts loves them. Leon Roberts like, thank you, dude. You just saved my ass.
Yeah, like, he's like, I went down, I was trying to recover, and everyone who gets in there, or those who have been knocked down before, knows how the body reacts. You just get slower. Well, you've been slow for a while, but okay. But yeah, like, he totally praised him. Like, all right. If that's how you feel about it, but what we saw, yeah, that one, it could have been stopped earlier.
I wonder, and we're never going to get this because obviously this is very personal and no one's really going to care what the significant other says, but in times like this, I wonder, like, what would your wife say? I don't want to bring kids into it because, I mean, I think all those kids are still very young, but your loved ones are always going to be squeamish seeing you get hurt. I'm sure there's people that if they have a little cut over their eye, they're gonna leave the arena. But imagine how your family felt seeing you watch that. You don't think they wanted to stop? You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. Again, perspective is everything.
Yeah, I wonder why he even like put out a statement.
Yeah, like, why so soon, right?
Yeah,
maybe like, because of the Herb Dean stuff and Dana going on about I'll fire anyone talking shit. Maybe he felt he owed him something.
Oh, that's possible, yeah, since it's been the topic.
Other than that, I don't see why you bring it up. Like, I don't even know who was asking him. I didn't see the interview or nothing. This is the highlight that I read, that I picked out. But yeah, that's the only way it kind of makes sense to me.
I hope he takes time to recover and figure out what he wants to do next. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope this is it for him. I really do. Nothing bad against the guy. I don't want to see him get too badly hurt. And that Yan fight, I've seen things like this in boxing and other fights in MMA. Sometimes things like that are career killers, man. You never recover from that. He hasn't been the same for a while, so there's gonna be a beating like that. It's like fuck. Holloway did a lot of damage. Shit, even McGregor, even though it was only like 2 or 3 punches, he did a lot of damage. Like it's been pretty brutal when he goes down. So Volkanovski's the only one that didn't fuck him up. So yeah. Even the Moraes fight, he had some troubles in the first round, and he, according to most people, won that fight. But according to the record book, he's now on a 3-fight losing streak. So, hope it gets better for you, Aldo. I just hope you realize that in getting better, it most likely means you have to give up fighting.
Yeah, I hate seeing this decline for him. But it's the fight game.
That's how I felt about Carlos Condit. Now I've just come to accept it because I got my baby Vicente Luque now. I'm done with Condit.
You said baby.
I love that man. I am not ashamed to say I got a full blown man crush on that guy. I'll still bring him up. Don't worry, we're gonna talk about women later on too. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
I love that we just switched roles there. Oh, that was beautiful. Much like other things we saw last week. But anyway, that's for later. Just hang on there for a couple of minutes, people. Corey Anderson, another headline. Corey Anderson has been released from the UFC per request. He asked for his release, and the UFC granted him his wish, and he's now signed with Bellator. I mean, I know fans are not really gonna care because no one's really a Corey Anderson fan, and the Bellator can benefit a lot from this. I'm glad that all parties are happy. It's just I'm trying to remember the last time UFC just let someone go because they asked.
I was wondering if it's because of that issue he had. I guess the doctor didn't check him out properly, and he fainted and he hit his head.
The fuck, when was this?
After his fight with, I forgot.
Yan? When he got knocked out?
I think so.
He passed out. He fainted after the fight?
Yeah, something happened to him, and yeah.
What the fuck's going on? This was months ago too. I think it was pre-COVID.
Yeah, I guess he like blacked out or something. He had like an injury after that because he felt like the doctors didn't properly, look over him.
Yeah. Well, if he's gonna be fighting in the immediate future in Bellator, they're doing their shit in an Indian casino in Connecticut or some shit, and it looks like they're gonna stay there. So,
yeah. Well, he said that he said he passed out and he hit his head on the pavement, which caused him serious injuries. And I guess they were still looking over him. They were still doing tests or whatnot. So I'm wondering, I'm going Eddie Bravo again, Eddie Bra. I'm just wondering if it has something to do with that. Like maybe potentially he had like a lawsuit or something. I don't know. And they said, okay, well, we'll just let you go. And, you don't have to complete your contract or something and negotiate something. Because this came out of left field, man. And then this story came out not too long ago, too. It came out, I think it was like a week ago.
The Corey Anderson hitting himself in the head thing?
Yeah, the head injury. I think it was a week or two ago.
Guess I totally missed it.
Yeah, and then this came out. So I'm like, because you're right. Like, they just don't let people go.
Sure, you think it might be like a liability thing? Like, all right, fuck it, go, just don't sue us.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't know if that's fully edgy raw because I didn't even know that. So that seems, I'm sorry to say this, but that kind of seems like good business practice in America. I'm not saying it's ethically right. American business is something else.
Like Corey Anderson was Johnny Walker killer. He stopped that hype train. Like he's been, kind of going against the establishment, going against Dana White. Had a chip on his shoulder, and he didn't do well in his last fight. Yeah, but he was still winning. He was climbing the ranks. So they just let somebody go, just like that. That's needed in that division.
Well, the thing is, come on, everyone was always just talking about how boring he was. I mean, the reason that Johnny Walker fight was so big is because he knocked him out the way that Johnny Walker should have knocked him out. And, you know, everyone knew that they were using Corey Anderson as a stepping stone, and he surprised everybody. But then Yan knocks him out. And then remember, Dana was like, God, he looks so stupid talking all this shit and this and that. And then he gets knocked out in like 2 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
He was saying the
Well,
same shit about Paige, you know, it's like that was like the thing that was just back and forth, like, oh yeah, well, looks real good now, huh?
Ali is like, I don't know what kind of shit he has on everybody, but he always seems to get things done for his people.
Yeah.
Like, damn, dude.
I'm sorry. It's just okay. I'll say just because we live in dark times and people are getting their minds open lately. You know, he seems like a fucking Jeffrey Epstein of MMA, of fucking MMA, man. Like, yeah, he knows where the bodies are buried.
Shit.
No way saying that he
Yeah.
did terrible things like Jeffrey Epstein. I'm just saying the comparison of
Right.
why do people go out of their way for him?
Yeah. He has so many people, so many fighters under him.
Shit. God damn it, man. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's just the it's like a union type thing. Maybe it's not that sinister. Maybe it's just like a union type thing. You know, the way I have all these fighters, like all my workers will stop. They'll do whatever I tell them. Well, shit, remember? I don't know if we ever talked about this on the show. Remember, I think like a week or two ago, he was saying that he wasn't going to allow his fighters to get interviews. He wasn't going to allow ESPN or I think TMZ to interview his fighters.
Yeah, what happened with that? He was pissed about something.
I don't know what happened, but dude, if I was a fighter, I think it was I forget his name. I think he works at MMA Payout. He's like a lawyer or economics type dude. Bloody elbow. I don't remember who it was, but someone said like someone needs to tell Ali about fiduciary duty. And I tweeted something like he has no fucking idea what that is. He can't even spell that shit. But yeah, it's one of those things like that just seems illegal. Like how can you, and if it's not illegal, that just is so stupid. How can you be okay with that as a fighter? Like, oh yeah, you're gonna ban the biggest exposure we can get in our sport just because you have some gripe with them. Like, come the fuck on, man.
Right. I didn't understand that either when I saw that. I'm like, aren't you ultimately hurting your own pocket if you're
Your own,
doing
yeah,
that?
your fighter's pocket, your own pocket. Yeah, that's the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. So, why are you flexing like this? Like, you're not that rich, are you?
As we said,
You're
like weird,
you're
weird
greedy.
flex, but okay.
Yeah. Like you're greedy as fuck. Like you love money, so that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know where that led. Hopefully, it was just him talking shit because I think it's maybe his fighters actually did speak up. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, homie? Like, we need exposure. What the fuck are we hiring you for? You know? Hopefully, hopefully that's what happened. Hopefully, it was just posturing. But yeah, good for Corey. Good for the UFC. Good for definitely for Bellator's light heavyweight division. Shit, Brian Bader may actually have a challenge.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, well, we'll see where this goes, and Corey might actually become a champion. So good on him. Best of luck to him. Another news, I guess on the business side of things, as we were just talking about, Sean O'Malley was fighting Marlon fucking Vera. Still, my God, next week that's happening. UFC what 252 now. He's gonna launch an apparel line. I guess he made some jerseys a week or two back and sold them, just 100 limited edition jerseys, and he said he made over $20,000 in 39 seconds. So now he's gonna launch an apparel line. He already has a weed strain, and looks like he said I think while he was gone that he sold the most Reebok merchandise, but he only ended up making like a few grand off of it, even though according to him the UFC made like $1 million off his merch. I don't know. But this seems kind of weird as far as the numbers go, but I know Sean O'Malley is definitely popular, and I respect any fighter who decides to up their business acumen.
I had no idea he had a YouTube channel, and he has a lot of followers on his YouTube channel. I try to go back and look at those jerseys that he sold. It wasn't posted on Instagram. I try to look on like his YouTube, thumbnails and whatnot. I couldn't find it, but they were selling for like $200 a pop. I
Yeah, they
think,
were not cheap.
yeah, their jerseys that said what was it,
Um,
420 and 69 maybe, I think it
no,
was.
no. So it had O'Malley like a regular basketball jersey in the back, and they were 0 to 100. But
Oh, okay.
he made, I guess, two special jerseys for 69 and 420, and those were auctioned. And I think the
Oh,
majority of that money went to some type of charity.
damn, good for him.
Hmm.
Yeah, for doing that. Because I mean, he sold all that and made how much? 20,000 or something in 39 seconds. What a great experiment! Because I guess him and his team wanted to try this out just to see what would happen. And wow, what a successful fucking campaign.
I
39
want to
seconds.
I want to know, or maybe since you've seen some more of this, I didn't know he had a podcast. I didn't know he had a YouTube channel or any of the stuff that you told me. Do you think he's kind of like a Diaz brother in the way where he's remarkably good at business, but on accident, or you think he's got people behind him?
I think it's both. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that he's dumb necessarily, but I'm talking like the Diaz brothers, like Nick and Nate Diaz, they made a lot of money. I
Hmm.
mean, I guess you could say they can make more, but with Nate, it's like I'm not gonna say he got lucky in beating Connor because obviously that was a skill. He legit did beat him, but it was a kind of right place, right time type thing. And then I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. He became a legend overnight by beating Connor and saying that line. And he, again, right place, right time type thing. And then Sean O'Malley's just, it seems like everything's just building with him. The Dana White Contender Series, he was like the biggest star from that. He got hurt, and then all those SADA issues kind of put him in the headlines still, even though he didn't want to. And then obviously good performances with Quinones and that fucking viral KO of Wineland. Like right place, right time, but also he has so many endeavors. Is like I don't know if he's just throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks, or this is just how
No,
he is, and this is just how he is, and he's just getting money off of it.
he's a smart smoker. He's one of those. He's a very smart guy. I think he realized what his worth really is with him being out like that.
And the thing is too with this, I mean, good for him. This money of these shirts, these jerseys is gonna go mostly to him, I assume, if he's the brains behind all this. But also, if this is true and he can prove it, if he's got receipts of this shit, he can go to the UFC like, this is what I'm doing just on shirts. What the fuck can you offer me?
Right, exactly. He has a Twitch channel, YouTube. He posted his podcast, what, I don't know, 8 hours ago, or a day ago or something. And he has like at least 10,000 views so far. So he has a strong following and he's doing it on his own. Well, at the time, he didn't really get any help from the UFC because he was out. So everything he's done is just him, just being who he is, being all philosophical and, talking about meditating and, acting a certain way. And like, he's a smart guy, man. I didn't realize how smart he was. I thought he was just some like young kid with, a mouth on him that likes to smoke weed. No, he's not like that at all. You listen to this podcast, you're like, wow, okay, I get it.
Have you seen many of his? Well, I don't know how much about the podcast, but have you seen many of his videos like YouTube and Twitch and stuff, or you just seen like a few minutes, a few clips here and there?
I watched at least 45 minutes of his podcast today. I
Holy,
didn't, yeah, I looked it up because I'm like, because the article talked about his show or whatever. I'm like, what show? So I looked it up. It's like
ah,
96, episode 96. I'm like, what? He's already up to 96 episodes?
oh, so he's like Joe Rogan. He like records himself on video too, talking on the podcast. So it's like audio and video.
Oh, yeah, and he has a nice setup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has a really nice setup and he's sponsored. That podcast is sponsored. I believe that he's doing a podcast with his coach, friend, roommate. So, yeah, it's good. It's interesting. Go check it out. He's a good dude.
I was asking because if you'd seen more than just a few seconds here and there because of the way you're talking about his spirituality and of course the way he dresses and all this shit. Does he have like crystals everywhere?
No, not in that setup. I didn't see
No.
like
Maybe they're hiding in the background
not
somewhere.
really crystals. Like he has stuff on the table, all kinds of stuff like trinkets and little weed stuff, and
He strikes me as one of those like burning sage and crystals type dudes.
yeah. Well, he was talking about how his mom was like, you know, in town and hanging with him, and he's just so annoyed with his mom because everything, every time he'll talk about something, she's always saying, I know, I know, I know. And he's just so frustrated with her because she's not as open minded as him. And I'm like, who's the adult here? I'm like, wow. So yeah, he's just talking about all kinds of stuff, talking about what's been going on with him, his family life, and just going back and forth about, the fights coming up and what could potentially happen if Cody were to win his fight, and if he were to capture the bantamweight strap, and maybe him going up in weight, and also focusing on that belt, and how one day him and Cody would just end up fighting each other. So
Crazy. You know what? I didn't know all this. All I did was read the article about. I was just interested on the numbers of all these jerseys, this much money, and this short of time, and then yeah, the weed stuff and all this stuff. I had no idea of all this, and obviously you did more research than me on the podcast and all this type of shit. But yeah, he kind of strikes me as the way like Kevin Lee when he went on Joe Rogan's podcast. Like that's what everyone would say about him. Like I don't like him. He's so cocky. He hasn't really done much. He thinks he's so full of himself. And then he goes on the Joe Rogan podcast. Like holy shit, this guy's like a savant. Like he's very wise. He's very humble. He just wants to get big fights, so he just becomes super brash.
yeah, it's called the Timbo and Sugar Show. Yeah. On one of his thumbnails, he has he's sitting in the big ass like throne, and it has like neon like lights, the Sugar Show.
All right.
And he has like a weed robe on and everything, like totally pimped out, man. He's cool.
Just to go back to something because I don't know, I need to hear this to get like the context with the way you're explaining like his frustrations with his mom and shit. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe you've seen a picture of her or she comes out on the video, but I have a feeling she's super fucking hot. I don't know why.
I know he didn't show
like,
a picture or anything, but now I'm curious, so I can send it to you.
She's like a little dense, like she just doesn't have a lot going on up there, right? Because she's hot as fuck.
Oh no, I'll find out. Well, although I did go through his Instagram, I didn't see his mom's picture. Well, at least a lady that looked like his mom.
There's some decent MMA fighter moms out there. I've seen some. I like some of these. So yeah, his mom might be on the list too.
I'll stalk for you.
Yeah, crazy white lady.
His page. Yep.
Crazy white lady. She probably has crystals in her house. I'm down with that too. Usually a sign of good things to come.
Shit's funny.
So good on Sean. Make all the money you can, man. We've talked so much on the show of the frustration with MMA fighters not making money either because of the setup of the fight game or fighters just being ignorant. And this guy's hustling, figuring it out for himself, and I always respect that type of mindset. So good on him. Next up, Ray Borg was supposed to fight on this weekend's card. No, last weekend's card. Sorry, and he bailed. I don't know if it was because of weight issues or he had some type of family emergency. I don't know if was there ever a final word on this.
No, I don't remember. They didn't say much. Let me see if I can look for it. But
he didn't show up, as I know the end, the period. That was the whole point of it. He did not show up for good or bad reasons. Who knows? But yeah, he ultimately got cut now after so many years of the promotion, and it seems like some people are upset about it. But I I don't see why.
I mean, they try to help him as much as possible, right? For keeping him around and work with him.
I gotta give props to a guy I have not mentioned on this podcast. And sorry, man, I haven't listened to your podcast in a while, just because I don't listen to many MMA podcasts anymore. Just because I'm trying to not be influenced too much. Although from what I've heard of this guy's been good. This guy Bill Welker, he's come on Mixed Martial Arts Chat, the show I do occasionally from some of the dudes over in the UK. He's been a guest, and he's a pretty smart dude. I listened to a podcast of his way back after he'd been having some of his issues. He'd missed weight again, and he said, "Look, I'm a father. There's nothing in the world that hurts me more than seeing Ray Borg and his situation with his kid. But at the end of the day, I'm a big proponent of fighters need to make weight." And even in his situation, you got to call a spade, man. He's not making weight, and regardless of what's going on at home, that's not our business. That's not the UFC's business. If you don't want to help him, that's fine. But you sign a contract to make weight, to show up on that day, you got to do it. And if this is an issue that happened, if his son got sick again, I feel so bad for him. But given where we're at right now, and yeah, just so many bad weight cuts and not that great performances, even when he has one, it's like people are gonna get the shaft, and unfortunately, in this case, it's gonna be Ray Borg, and I do feel for him, but I'm definitely not outraged with the UFC either.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot. I don't know what his wife does, but at the same time, though, he's a fighter, so he can basically set his schedule, which is an advantage over somebody that doesn't fight, somebody that actually has a 9 to 5, 8 to 5 job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have to be there or they'll lose their job and their health care. So with his situation, I'm trying to be understanding, but at the same time, like, if you look at it from a different perspective, it's like you had an opportunity to make this work for you. It's not fair to the other fighter that you keep pulling out. You got to think about that.
I really value your opinion on this, Ring, because obviously you're the parent here. You're a mom, and I know you definitely feel for him. But say what you will, whether you're at your previous job or just any job, even if you're working at fucking Walmart or whatever, luckily you have a healthy son, and obviously, knock on wood, I'd never wish anything bad for you. But yeah, if your son was sick, of course you're going to try and, keep your job and do everything to provide for him and help him out and stuff. But if you're coming to work late every week, every month, you know what I mean? And you're fucking around and this and that. I mean, business is still business. You might lose your job, and that's fucked up given this hypothetical situation, but that's the way things go, That's kind of what this is. Him not making weight, him pulling out, and some of these things, like, that's kind of what it's akin to, whether it's for good or bad reasons.
So a lot of people did help him too. He had that as well that most people wouldn't have. So it's tough, man.
Remember, was it Joe Rogan? I remember for a long time on the podcast, he was doing that thing for Justin Wren and his charity, and like after a while, like whatever they sold, like $1 was gonna go each sale was gonna go to help pay for his hospital bills and stuff for his son.
Yep. Brendan Schaub, he was doing some stuff, like made some shirts and just donated everything to him, and him and his son. So again, you had all this. It's just tough for me because I mean, like I said, you're in a good spot. He's in a good spot where he can make his own schedule.
Yeah,
people don't have that.
Yeah, exactly. As tough as a job as it is, and as dangerous as a job as prize fighting is, there's still harder and more demanding jobs out there. Maybe not physically, but yeah, of your time, mentally, socially, fucking soul sucking jobs out there. But you take them because, yeah, the benefits, the pay, you got to do what you got to do, and that's just life.
Yeah, take on these fights, maybe 2-3 fights, and then you're done. You're not at work constantly, at the end of the month, deadlines, trying to meet sales numbers and being out the office late and not being able to see your son. in comparison, you had it great. So it's tough, man.
That's a very good point. That's
Yeah,
a
it's
very good
business.
point.
It's business too. So I mean, I'm understanding of where his family is, their position, but I also understand from a business standpoint.
And yeah, you've been in those type of corporate jobs that you definitely understand it at the high level, you know. I get what you're saying. Last bit of headlines. Dana said today or yesterday, very recently, that the Israel Adesanya Paulo Costa fight might take place on Fight Island. I remember him saying initially, maybe a month or two ago, when New Zealand was looking real good, uh, basically being like the first country that kind of broke out of this shit with the pandemic, that they might even think about doing a live show there with audience down there in New Zealand, especially for a big fight like Izzy and Costa. But I I want to say that there was a few infections in New Zealand again. I don't know how big of a spike it was because they're saying that like they might shut down their airports and shit. Like they're they're really not fucking around. They really want to get rid of this shit. So I don't know if maybe he saw that and it's like, why even bother to make plans? Maybe we'll just go back to Fight Island and have a fight there. And that was always in the plan B anyway. So
I don't think the prime minister wants us there anyways. She's too smart. She don't want Americans there.
well,
Bring
Costa.
the
Well,
virus.
I want to say Costa's not American, and he's not, but he is Brazilian, so he's a step above or below. Take your pick. Not
But
that far
still,
off.
having a fight, a complete card over there, you're bringing Americans.
Yeah.
You know, like she got
Well,
rid of it, and she doesn't want that coming back. I think that's why, like, she's shutting down. I think she was one of the areas that like shut down all travel from other
United
countries
States.
because, and other countries too, because she started to see people like bringing it in.
Yeah. I mean, that was the big thing. If we were to talk about this for a bit, you remember the whole thing with Singapore, right?
What with that? Oh no, I was thinking the clubbing thing. That's Korea.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Korea. No, Singapore, because they're basically Big Brother. They're straight out of 1984. They have cameras everywhere, and the government has like strongholds in that country, and they look at everything.
Mm-hmm.
They took care of the virus very well, and they tend to be very clean people. So people wore masks, social distance, and then they had a lot of police and cameras looking all around. So people they took care of that shit pretty quick. But then come May or so, late April, May, a bunch of people, a lot of students started flying in because so many people study abroad, and they had
Mm-hmm.
gotten it. And so they were good in the beginning. They seemed like, oh shit, they're not gonna get affected that bad. And then when the students came in, they they started seeing a big spike. And then there's I guess a lot of undocumented migrant workers, and they can't be contact traced, and they live in close quarters, so they started fucking shit up too. So
Yeah.
the migrant workers and the students fucked it all up, even though they were doing good. But it's one of those things. It's like that's the way that Singapore's run. You know, a lot of people travel around there, so but
Yeah.
New Zealand definitely is, from what I've heard. I know Australia is really tough on immigration. I wouldn't be surprised if New Zealand's like that too. And if they beat it like that, well, almost beat it the first time like that. Yeah, I know that they're not gonna fuck around.
Mm-mm. No.
So I guess that's why that this is happening. I didn't hear Dana expound on that, but I'm just gonna assume he saw that and was like, "All right, let's not get our hopes up. This is our plan B. This is what we're gonna do." And I'm very interested to know how big that pay per view is gonna be,
It's probably gonna be huge. I mean,
especially with
that's probably gonna, yeah, that's gonna be probably a better idea anyways.
especially with some of the antics, quote unquote antics that Izzy's been doing lately.
Which I don't understand why people are like upset about, or
I saw someone tweet something like, I forget who it was. There was a reply or someone saying like, "You keep talking about him, like regardless of whatever this is publicity." This is not a bad thing for him, especially.
Yeah, but what disturbed me is that video that Paulo made. I didn't understand that. Like, why do you keep doing this?
Oh my God, Paulo Costa might be the most clueless man on this planet.
Oh my! See, I told you. Look, just because he's good looking, see, there's no way no. I told you, I don't care what he looks like, right? Women think he's fine, he's good looking, this and that. Look at him. If he just sit there and be quiet, it would be fucking great. But he can't. When he opens his mouth or has an idea, this is what comes out. Like, what are you doing? I don't care if you're gay, but are you?
Okay, so to add some context, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Izzy, just a few days ago, there was a video of him getting his hair done. He's getting his hair dyed, and it's like hot pink. And there was some filter on it. It looked a little sparkly, literally. And it kind of looked like he had lip gloss, too. It was definitely made you raise an eyebrow. But at the end of the day, yeah, like Rena's saying, I feel the same way. Who cares? That's the look he wants to go for. That's what makes him feel comfortable. Go right ahead. I don't really care. It's fine by me. But Costa, who is tweeted some semi-borderline or just outright homophobic shit here and there in broken English, whatever. He posted videos. He's done a bunch of videos of him like hugging Izzy like naked and you know, all these weird memes. And then this week was like a novela. It was like some kind of was like a soap opera, right? And he like photoshopped themselves as a man and a woman, and it's just like the most homoerotic shit ever. Like I look at Izzy's thing, I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but what is this shit right here?
Dude, as soon as Izzy's face appeared on that video, I turned it off. I'm like, what is this?
Like, are you in love with him, dude?
Right.
Like Izzy's just being him. No, he's not talking about anybody. He's just doing him, but his like obsessed with Izzy. This shit is unhealthy, man.
Yeah, it's quite disturbing. I mean, Izzy with him, doing that hentai porn or whatever you want to call it, like cartoon porn. Like, I don't even care about that.
Oh, dude, that's the other thing. Yeah, I gotta get on my soapbox for just a second here. What the fuck is it with you on MMA Twitter that found a problem with this shit? I please, if you guys listen to this and you at me, Juice MMA, please tell me what you were so offended by or so disgusted by or so outraged by that 2 years ago Izzy posted this meme of SpongeBob and Squidward like post-coitus naked. What was it again? Because Bert and Ernie, I guess Bert and Ernie officially came out as gay. So he said, well, fuck it, I'll have this. And it was SpongeBob and Squidward basically fucking. I don't get it. The only thing I can get is like, oh, my kids could see that. Which honestly, you shouldn't have fucking kids on Twitter. That's
right. Exactly. Yeah.
If you don't.
17 and over.
Yeah, if you don't know, they show full out porn here. The dicks going in asses and everything. So
yeah, sometimes I shouldn't even be on. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
If you're okay with your child potentially seeing that, by all means, but don't be offended by a fucking cartoon meme. I don't see the big fucking deal. But grown adults were straight up like, why do you like this guy? You stand for this guy? What are you talking about? What is the issue here?
I don't get it either. Like, this is what y'all stand for? Huh? What's the problem? I don't see a problem here. He's into anime. Obviously, he knows what's up in Asia. We got hentai porn everywhere. That shit's normal. My mom used to get this like this magazine. It's similar to like People's Magazine. Like all celebrity gossip and whatever, but at the end of it, there's a couple pages where it's just cartoon. And sometimes, there's image of cartoons, having sex or whatever, a man and a woman, whatever. It's just normal to us. I've seen titties at a very young age on TV.
Huh.
at 8 o'clock at nighttime in Japan. It's just normal to us.
That's so crazy. I didn't know this. This is crazy because I've heard things like this coming out of like Germany and France, like a lot of European countries, because they don't see sex as a big deal. But I always thought a lot of Asian countries, even Japan, I thought was kind of like conservative, like not in a
Def-
like religious sense, but just like, oh no, we don't show that.
no, definitely conservative, but like we have some comedy shows, comedy channels that, just totally forget about that because it's comedy. It's a good laugh. So that's all normal in our world. Like my dad was shocked, definitely shocked because he's from the United States and he's just like,
Yeah.
are we supposed to be watching this shit? Like, no, this is normal to us. This is a normal Saturday night. We watch this shit. I've been watching titties on television since I was 5 years old, 6 years old.
That is nuts, man. That I
So
mean, it's not the craziest thing I've ever heard. I just did not expect that from Japan.
yeah. So like, is he into anime and things like that? And him posting it? Like, yeah, like he's from a different world. It's not like America. It's like there's sex and shit everywhere. There's fucking child trafficking. But oh no, let's just act like we don't have sex. Let's just act like there's no porn. Let's act like we didn't make Kim Kardashian popular.
Yeah, the right in the openness of it, like
Like what the hell, y'all? This is a twisted ass country. Come on now, we got our
I
own fucking problems.
did you ever hear or watch this movie Bombshell? It was about the Fox News sexual accusation stuff that had been going on like 10 years ago.
No, I try not to get
It, it
involved
was
in
it was a movie, but it's because of the whole Me Too stuff. It just came out like last Christmas,
that.
going on about how that whole, and then it had to do with Trump's election and all this stuff too, Megyn Kelly and all this shit. But anyway, it was an interesting little part in that movie. They're talking, this girl at Fox News who'd been working there for a while tells the new girl, "Oh, stories about sex are like stories about sex are weird but interesting." Like, it's like that typical conservative thing. It's like we're interested in it, but you can't be like okay with it. And I thought that was a kind of a funny way to explain it, but it kind of might explain America at large. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, we like it, we just don't go all the way with it.
right.
Just
Or
a tip.
churchgoers. Oh, it's all missionary. Sure.
And you wonder why I like Holly Holm.
Yeah.
I see you, Holly. But yeah, just to add one last thing to that, though, it is funny that, yeah, all this stuff like, what's going on with this? Is you're gay and blah, 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 blah. But the responses to Borrachino's video, from what I saw, was like, this is funny or this is weird, but not.
That is strange for sure.
Like, no one thought, like, is this dude gay or is there something weird going on? But with Izzy, it was like, oh, man. That was shocking and appalling.
Right? His pink hair is appalling. What? Borrachino wants to fight Izzy because he's in love with him. Don't you guys see that? That's what he's like portraying, it seems like. That's what he's trying to send out. That's that energy he's trying to send out in the Twitterverse or, social media.
If it wasn't for Mike Tyson, I'm sure he would pull that classic line that Mike Tyson said to that one guy. I don't know what it was. That I'll fuck you till you love me. Yeah. I'm sure he would say some shit like that.
Yep, for sure.
And not see anything weird with it. Mike Tyson is just like such a psychopath. When he said it was scary, when Paulo would say like, "Oh shit, he might actually do it," because he's a little obsessive.
Dude. I thought his coach was smarter than that. I thought his coach would be like, yo, can we just calm down with this? This doesn't look right, man.
But then again, he's homies with Cejudo. What if Cejudo's kind of guiding him on some of this shit, man? Clearly, it's very cringy.
Because he got rid of his girlfriend?
Oh my God, yes, I forgot about that too.
Deleted all his pictures.
Got played, son.
Yo, now he wants to come back. See what happened? See?
Wouldn't it be weird if like
she did all for the pussy?
try to marry him for like papers or some shit. I don't know if she's Hispanic or not, but that typical fucking undocumented immigrant story.
Damn, dude.
How
I
did I
thought you
not
were
know?
rich. Yo. Thought you had money. You're a triple C.
Oh god. Yeah.
Did it all for the pussy. See what happens now. You want to come back and fight and get your belt back. No, sir. You cannot come back. They wiped you clean. They took your name off the fucking rankings with the quickness. The very next day,
Conor
they handled that.
McGregor didn't fight in what, like 2 years, and he was still like number 3 in the ranking.
Yeah. They're like, bye, Henry.
Holly Holm loses 2 or 3 in a row, and she's still like number 9. Like, come on, dude.
It's because he's Mexican, right?
Jesus Christ, yeah. Exhibit A and how to, you never fully mark out. That is marking out at his finest. So congratulations, Cejudo.
Man, I even said like he's gonna retire. Somebody text me. I was like, "You think he's really gonna retire?" I'm like, "Yeah, he got a girlfriend. He's gonna retire."
After the Chris fight, after he announced it.
Yeah, I'm like, he's real with that. He got a girlfriend. He got other things to do. And then what? As soon as the girlfriend's gone, it's like, oh, I want to come back. Sucker.
See, at the end, we were talking about Sean O'Malley. He wins out in the end. What did he tell him after all that? Like, oh, I know he's all excited because he just got his first girlfriend.
Yep.
He marked out. Meanwhile, you got Sean O'Malley just doing whatever the fuck he wants, fucking as many girls as he wants, and not giving a fuck who his girlfriend fucks either.
Yep. See, gotta learn from the young kids, man. That's the way to do it. Oh yeah, they were talking about that too. By the way, it's like if you're young, just make sure you don't get any girls pregnant. Not right now, because that's a huge responsibility. You won't be able to do anything. Like he was like telling these young kids, his followers, like, don't do that. Do not get a girl pregnant.
That is good advice, but I don't have kids, and I'm not really set on having kids. It's probably not something that's gonna happen with me. But I've kind of reconsidered this week because I got a big surprise in my DMs, and I would not mind impregnating Beck Rawlings.
Oh, I saw them titties too. Them were nice titties.
We got a sneak peek into the OnlyFans account, and Beck goes all out, at least from the waist up. I haven't seen anything more graphic than that, but I was okay with it.
They were very tasteful, man.
For Beck Rawlings, yes.
Yeah, it was done very well. I was totally surprised. I mean, she's cleaned up a lot over the years. I mean, there was a point where she looked like she was on meth. She was so bad. It was just, she looked so dirty. And I think it was prior to the Tough House, or it was during or something.
I think during the Tough House, because yeah, she always looked like that in Invicta. It was always like the same look.
And yeah, just over the years, just cleaning up and
sometime when she went into bare knuckle fighting, like right before or right after that, like, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah, but you showed me those pictures too, and I'm like, move over, Cindy. Cindy Dandois, you used to be the hot mom, but Beck moved up to the top spot now.
And Cindy, I don't know what has been going on with her lately. Best wishes to her. But yeah, you're definitely right. Beck Rawlings is taking the top spot. Kat Zingano will always be my number one. But yeah, Beck, she's got it going on, man. And I feel I'm not even joking about this. I gotta subscribe at least to 1 month now because I got a sneak peek, and I feel bad for stealing from you, Beck.
I know, stole from a single mom. I might have to sign up too.
Well, I mean, this was one of our podcast episode names, is going halvesies on Beck's OnlyFans account, so we got to do it now.
We may have, yeah, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to support. I feel bad for stealing, but now I know what's up with these.
It's like the street, first hit is free.
Right?
And
that was some real titties, huh?
Definitely looked like it. And to the homie that sent that to me, I will not out you here because I'm not like that. But Reen and I have been working on some stuff that we possibly want to get merch done. It looks like that is a possibility that may happen in the near future. We got to talk about this off air, but whenever that gets done, man, I will DM you something and I will send you some type of merch because that was invaluable to us. Thank you for helping out the show. And
Yeah.
honestly, with all the terrible shit that's been going on in the world, that literally made my week.
That actually made my day. Remember, you're like, oh, this might make you feel better or something. Remember
I've told you some
that?
terrible shit. I've heard something about the economy or the COVID, and but check this
Yeah.
shit out.
Fuck the economy. I know where like shit is burning all around, but do you want to see this? I saw him. I was like, oh shit,
Mm-hmm.
them titties are real. Wow, they look amazing. She looks beautiful, man. So good on you, Beck. I mean, I'll support any chick that just goes through the ringer like her, and you know what I mean? Like literally, like 2 kids, right? 3 kids.
At least two, but yeah, possibly three. Yep. Yep.
Good for you. Make that money, girl.
We will support. We're not even lying. At some point, I may actually just have to screenshot my fucking description. Like, see, not a total asshole. I may mark out a bit, but I think it's for a good cause. Feed the children.
Exactly. She's not fighting right now, so.
There's tough times ahead, man. Jesus Christ. So that's gonna do it for headlines. So we're gonna get into the matchups. First up, Jeff Neal is gonna fight Neil Magny. There's a lot of good fights that we're gonna talk about right now. Some gigantic fights. But honestly, this is the fight that I might be most excited for. This is supposed to happen in a few weeks, actually, August 29th on a UFC ESPN Plus fight card.
I can't believe he's fighting Neil Magny. Like, finally, somebody signed on the dotted line. Nobody wanted to fight him. Nobody wanted to fight Jeff Neal. He was calling out Chiesa, remember? And he didn't want that either.
Magny was fighting, calling out Chiesa, no?
Well, Jeff Neal too, because he wanted to get a top-ranked fighter.
Oh, okay. I may have missed that one. I thought it was Magny. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So this is, yeah, I don't know, man. I love Jeff Neal. I kind of feel bad for Magny. I like get destroyed.
I don't know about that, Rain. Magny's so tough, and it seems like most of the time when you count him out is when he looks sensational. You know, like some people count out with Jing Lang. I thought he probably could have won that one, but look how good he looked. And then like the Gastelum fight and the Lombard fight, he was getting his ass kicked, came back, and then the Gastelum fight in Mexico nonetheless won. Condit, a lot of people were going with Condit on that one, and he looked spectacular in that fight too. He kind of reminds me of Roxy in that way, like Roxanne Modafferi. Like when you expect her to lose is usually when she wins. So this might be one of those fights because, of course, Neil hits like a truck and he can definitely spark him. But Magny's so tough, man. I think he still has a chin on him. If he's able to survive, and with his cardio, he may be able to take it to him.
Man, I can't wait to see this one. I think I'm gonna have like my eyes covered at the same time because I like them both. So I'm like, no, don't do that, no.
It's definitely one of those, especially if it ends spectacularly. Either way, it's gonna be like yes, and then fuck. You're like,
yeah, like I'm excited, but I'm not gonna feel good about whoever loses. I'm not gonna feel good about it.
Peaks and valleys all the way on this one. On another card, this was actually even sooner. Maybe I should have started with this one, but either way, Jim Miller is going to be fighting Vince Pichel next week at the UFC 252 card. And Vince Pichel hasn't fought in, I think, over a year. I've had who he won last, but he'd been doing pretty good as of late. And Jim Miller's obviously been looking good. Any Jim Miller fight from here on out, we've been big fans, but I think we probably stand Jim Miller a little bit, no?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's hard to count him out.
I mean, like, remember, what was it with Roberts, right? And that was his last fight, and people were like, my God, how good is Jim Miller? Like, we've been on this, man. Everybody should have known this, but yeah, he never going to get enough credit, I think. And until now they're talking about him possibly being in the UFC Hall of Fame. Like he's been a shoo-in for years, man.
Yeah, just put him in now.
And Vince Pichel, I think his last fight was against Roosevelt Roberts last year. I think he's the one that gave him his first loss. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what it was. And he hadn't fought since. I think he's had a few injuries, and now he's coming back. This could be good. Vince Pichel, again, kind of like we were talking about with Magny. He's kind of one of those guys that surprises. So we'll see what happens here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. Didn't he just fight Jim Miller? Oh yeah, it was quick.
Yeah, Roberts.
Yeah,
that was what,
yeah,
like
it was so quick. Yeah.
3-minute fight. Yeah.
Damn, we keep having all these fights every week. I'm like, God damn. Yeah, that was June 20th.
And we've kind of mentioned this before too. I think during the pandemic, it's probably best to have as many fights as possible. I mean,
yeah,
you don't have to put in as much effort in the camp. It seems like, you know, if you come out healthy, why not go again? Unless you're Bobby Green, you're just a crazy motherfucker, you know.
For real.
So I see the benefit in it. Advisable, who knows? But I see the benefit in it. I see why people are doing it, not just monetarily, although I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. Another really big fight. Marlon Moraes is going to be fighting Corey Sandhagen, and is expected to headline a fight card on October 10th. And I'm always kind of like get giddy when Marlon Moraes fights, and basically the same thing for Sandhagen, but both of them fighting one another. Damn.
Yeah, that's a good fight. Oof. Dude, but when are we gonna see the Aljo fight though?
Okay, I don't know. Maybe if I can still have him as nah. This is just weird. I think I DM'd you my post. Did you see this thing with Yan?
What happened? What?
So Yan tweeted this picture of him and like 4 of his homies that were on horseback. Like
yes, I did see that.
So I'm sorry about this, people, but if you guys didn't see this, I will explain again. Jan was on horseback with like 4 or 5 of his homies in the woods somewhere, and he photoshopped Aljo's face on his horse and said something like, "Time to ride my pony again," or something in like weird, fucked up, broken English, and said something like, "I'm waiting for you, Aljo." Made a reference to Aljo, obviously, with his face, and then I think in the tweet somehow. And I saw that, and I'm surprised it didn't get a lot more traction given cancel culture and all this, you know, racial sensitivity going on right now. I'm surprised it didn't become like a viral tweet. And I saw that and I thought, okay, this is a weird one because it's clearly very racially insensitive. But at the same time, this may be the only way that Dana sees this and actually wants to sign this fight. So is it really racist if he's helping this dude get the fight of his life? It may actually work.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, it was awful Photoshop.
I
don't get it.
There was also that too. It was just a bad Photoshop. And again, it looks fucked up. It does look fucked up. But Russians have a bad habit of this. I don't think they even know what racism means. They just hate everybody. And I think there's just like, well, what's the big deal? He's black and I hate him. But they're definitely not Americans. But we'll see how this goes. If it does happen, I'm going to keep bringing that shit up. Not to try and cancel Jan. You can't cancel that motherfucker. But you know what I mean? It's like, hey, maybe this was the reason why.
Crazy. Well, I don't get it. I mean, still waiting on who Yan's going to fight next. It's not like he took a lot of damage.
He did. Yeah, they both got, Aldo obviously got fucked up, but he did too. That was a hard fight, man.
Yeah, but he didn't, did he get suspended? I don't think he even got suspended.
I don't remember that one.
Aldo definitely did, but I don't think Yan got suspended.
Yeah. And well, he seemed to be back in the gym like a week later. Remember he was doing that, flipping off the camera about Aljo? I mean,
he's ready to fight.
He's Russian. They're made out of fucking adamantium, you know? But you do bring up an interesting point. Like, great fight with Moraes and Sandhagen, but we get this fight before we even get anything with Aljo or Yan.
Yeah, so what does it mean? Like, the
I mean,
winner gets Yan?
or well, it's a bit. That's what, 2 months away. To get it 2 months from now, there's still no fight happening, and they jump Aljo. That would be beyond fucked up.
I won't be surprised if they did it.
That's set the Apex Center on fire type riots right there, man. If there was a Justin loving world, come on, man. Justice for Aljo, dude. This is me saying this shit.
I know. I'm surprised you're saying it. Yeah, it would be fucked up, dude.
You gave props to Valley Laredo earlier, though, so, we're all making progress here.
Yeah, that's right. We're doing good. Yeah. Give us props, man. We're turning a new leaf.
Up until Valerie kicks you in the face.
She better not with them fucking nasty ass feet.
Oh, you're still gonna talk about the feet?
The nasty feet.
Love it.
I know some of y'all will still suck on them toes, going,
Nothing wrong with sucking on toes every once in a while.
Dirty toes?
Well, all toes are dirty.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You gotta live dangerously every once in a while, Rain.
Especially now. God damn it.
True. Yeah, so great fights here, and then this is the big one. UFC 255 was just announced this morning. This morning. Double headliner, co-headliner of Valentina Shevchenko and Jennifer Maia, and the headliner seems like it's going to be Davison Figueiredo and Cody Garbrandt dropping to flyweight to fight for the title. Shevchenko, we didn't talk about Maia earlier with her win against JoJo. Got a first round armbar finish. Great for Maia. Incredibly shitty for JoJo. She just let her number one contendership slip by her like that. Shit happens, and then as we talked about earlier, she fainted backstage. So who knows if she was even healthy enough? If she even should have been there to begin with. So, but that's neither here nor there. Maia looked great. She made weight and dominated JoJo. And very soon after, they make this fight. What do you think about this fight in general? I mean, is it right? Is it wrong? What else can we do?
I don't feel good about it. I mean, great. She made weight and she performed. So she got that shot. But at the same time, she wasn't supposed to be there because of past, missed weight and just what she did twice, I think. She missed weight twice. Her past 2 fights. So it just sucks for JoJo, man. It really does. She doesn't have to wait again. But then, then again, that just gives her more time to train against Valentina because she's going to be there for a while anyways. So this hopefully will give her a learning opportunity because Valentina is no slouch on the ground either. I mean, she's not high level like Maia, but still, she's a high level fighter. She's smart. Very smart. Her fight IQ is through the roof. So this will give JoJo an opportunity to work on all tools that she got until she gets that chance again.
Obviously, we're just speaking our mind here. It doesn't really matter what we think because it seems like the fight's done unless someone gets hurt and gets postponed, whatever. That's another story. But we can only react to this fight, obviously. And obviously, we have to accept it. But I kind of feel myself like by default, I kind of accept it as well because I'm with you. I don't really necessarily think that Maia deserves it because she's missed weight twice in a row, won one, lost one, and then wins this one. Yeah, makes weight, but it kind of negates the missing weight part, which I don't think it should do. I think the best option would be in a perfect world that she fights someone else. But then at that point, you got to be honest here, Irene. Who's she going to fight if it's another fight? It's going to be Lauren Murphy. And again, speaking of probably shouldn't be there, Lauren Murphy's kind of on the same boat because we still won't let go of the fucking KGB laws.
Why is there so many like layers of like challenges in this division? They're like
Probably because it's new.
missed weight, bad calls.
The bad call is just it's the game. I mean, it happens. You win some, you lose some. Roll the dice sometimes, and yeah, it's not gonna work out in your favor. It sucks.
Drives me nuts, man. And Valentina's just waiting for an opponent. I can see why they like quickly announced it because she wants to be an active champion, and by then she'll be healed up from whatever injury she's going through. So yeah, it's gonna be quick, I think. I mean, Valentina's gonna be there for a while, so
You think she's gonna finish Maya?
I think so.
Here's the thing. I'm trying to think of. This is no bullshit. This is not me trying to hype Maya up. I do like her, and I know that she has shit. This is not going to be an easy fight for her, obviously, and she's more than likely going to lose. But this might be the toughest woman that she's faced, like legitimately, like strongest chin, cardio. She's gonna be in her face. Like, is she gonna be successful? I don't know, but she's not gonna be taken out as fast as Jessica I or Shukagian. I don't see that happening. I just don't know if she's just gonna get outclassed for 5 rounds and just get credit for hanging tough, or she might actually surprise because Maya can pressure. Maybe not in the most intelligent way, but she's got tricks. She's crafty. That's the other reason why I kind of by default accept it. It's one of the best challenges that Shevchenko has, is whatever that means. This is definitely going to be her toughest test to date. Does she expect it to lose? Most likely no, but it's definitely going to be tough. It's going to be tougher than the other ones for sure.
I don't think so, man.
Well, we'll see. I'm serious. I'm not. I still, yeah. Like I said, I like Maya, and I'm not happy about the missed weight cuts, but she is a tricky fighter. She's a tricky fighter, and I know Shevchenko's seen it all, but she's formidable on the ground and she's formidable on the feet. I know she's not the best athlete in the world, but I honestly don't think an athlete is what's going to be necessary to beat Shevchenko. I don't, because even Amanda, who's a great athlete who beat her twice, didn't do it by, being more dynamic than her. She actually did it by fighting against type. She was slower and more technical and minimal. That's the way she beat her both times. So I think it might be something like that Maya could maybe replicate that. Doesn't mean she's going to win, but she can be competitive. I'm just going out on a limb here. We'll see as it gets closer. And then by the time that this fight happens, who the hell knows what the world's going to look like anyway. So maybe all that gets taken into account as well. Hopefully no one gets sick. Hopefully everyone stays healthy and COVID-free, because a lot of shit can happen. And speaking of COVID, Figueiredo, who has apparently recovered from that shit, is going to fight Cody Garbrandt. And you told me about this shit this morning, and I know he had a lot to say.
I don't get it, man. He's what, 1-3? Cody Garbrandt's 1-3? And he gets a title shot?
And at bantamweight, not even at flyweight.
I don't get it.
I mean, if Cody blows weight, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, I guess it would only be fair since Davison Figueiredo blew weight against Benavidez, but especially if Cody wins, what is that going to mean? This whole thing could get fucked up again.
What is this though? Like, is this a thing he's trying to accomplish and prove to not Cody, but TJ that he's better?
You got to think it is, right? I mean, but that's on the UFC for booking it. I mean, it's not a bad fight. It's not. But that's if everything goes according to plan.
It's just, again, it's like I thought flyweight's going to just roll on by. Finally got a champion. Okay. Everything's settled now. Just roll on by and let these guys just get a shot at the title. It's been stagnant for so long up there. Now here we go with this. Moreno should have been next. They had a storyline with that. Benavidez was his mentor. still is his mentor. They could have ran with that, but now this. And you know what? I get it. I understand what Okamoto said. Like, this could potentially put more eyes on the flyweight division with
Yep.
Cody making his move.
Yep.
I understand that, but still. What? Okay, ratings, yeah, right, you're right. Ratings mean more than the fighters that's been in line and waiting. That means so much more than these guys. Cool.
I definitely think there's eyes on Figueiredo right now. I don't think he's a star by any means. I don't know how well known he is, but given that, as we've talked about, this is kind of the only thing on TV right now. I think people are becoming more familiar and acquainted with the MMA, especially UFC. So they're starting to know some fighters that they probably didn't know too much before. Figueiredo, with what he did to Benavidez twice, probably know who he is, and if he can, they definitely know who Garbrandt is. Garbrandt's way more of a star than him. Yeah, that's a good point. That star power can help the whole division grow, but that's assuming that Figueiredo wins. If Garbrandt wins, I wouldn't put it past him to like this is maybe just a petty squabble still with TJ, and he wins the belt and like retires or just leaves the division. Like I killed the division that TJ couldn't. I can totally see Cody doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because he's an asshole or something like that. It's just because his beef with TJ is so deep. It's like, fuck it, anything to piss him off.
Right. I don't understand this. It's going to happen. I hope he loses. Yes, I said it. Hope he loses, seriously. And then just let the division just roll on through. I want to see Moreno fight for the belt. He got kicked off, came back, moving up the rankings. It's his chance. It's his time. So hurry up and get this over with.
Again, kind of like the TJ Dillashaw and Cejudo fight. Even if you hated Cejudo, you kind of wanted Cejudo to win. Maybe because a lot of people hated Dillashaw, like I did as well. So that was kind of easy to do. But also, like, yeah, Cejudo can actually keep this division floating because he is actually a flyweight. And then sure enough, he ended up fucking it over. So I actually have faith that Figueiredo will stick to this shit. He'll actually stay at flyweight if he continue to make the weight. If he does go up, it'll just because he has to, not because he wants to. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. I'm excited for the fight, but yeah, it's one of those that I might not be too hyped for it until it actually happens. Moving on from all that, usually this is where we say moving on from MMA and onto the news story, but our news story is MMA related, so let's get into that. Let's play the jingle. Headline is MMA fighter, quote unquote, accused of ringing doorbell and then attacking neighbor with rocks. So 19-year-old Juan Ramirez, who is just jumped over the border, stereotypical as you might imagine. Look at his picture and you'll know I'm not lying. Is accused of hitting his neighbor with punches, kicks, and baseball-sized rocks. He rang on this dude's doorbell. As soon as he opened up, started attacking him, and then sounds like from when he was on the floor, he grabbed rocks and just started beating his face in. There's been no reason as to why this happened. He's been arrested and booked and a $700,000 bail. So clearly they're taking this shit serious. But yeah, this happened in NorCal too. Looking here, what was the town? I'm sure you're probably familiar with it, Rain. It happened in San Joaquin County in
Stockton?
No. Incident took place in Woodbridge and was captured by surveillance cameras. Don't know if you know where that is, but yeah, that was what happened.
I don't get it. For him to even say like he's a fighter, that takes big balls. I don't know how many people he's said this to, but to say that you're a fighter in that area, that takes big balls. Because it seems like everybody knows everybody. Yeah. Especially in that area, like Stockton, Modesto, Lodi, Lathrop, Tracy. Like, there's American Top Team Tracy. All these places are kind of close to each other. So you can't really walk around and be like, yeah, I'm a fighter. Because they could just easily be like, okay, what's your name? And like, just look up your name. And this guy looks like he has no record of any kind.
He's 19 as well, though. So, I mean, it is possible that he trains, quote unquote, UFC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's 19. Not everyone starts fighting at 19, you know? So maybe he's been training and never taken a fight, or maybe he's taken like an amateur fight, some random casino somewhere. But yeah, from the looks of it, he has no record. Yeah, weird that he would proclaim this, and who the hell knows why he attacked this guy. Is it wrong of me that when I see stories like this, because obviously there's crazy people around, people off their meds, people that are just deranged, sociopaths, psychopaths that just want to hurt people. But when I see shit like this, part of me kind of always goes to the fact that, and it sounds fucked up to say, but the victim did something wrong. Because to me, like in my head, maybe I'm thinking too logically, like a normal person, but like to go to someone's house and fuck them up, they must have really fucked you over. Like to put your life at risk like that, it's got to be some kind of real bad personal vendetta. That's what I think anyway. Again, this guy could just be crazy and could have just done this to any random person, but I wonder if this was personal. And obviously not that it justifies it, but if it is, I wonder what the guy did.
Maybe the kid got his ass kicked in sparring and he had to take it out on somebody. I don't know where his mindset is at, like, because he knows this person. The neighbor opened the door because he recognized this kid.
Yeah, right. Because I'm sure he maybe looked menacing, and you know, if the dude was strapped, he probably would have taken a gun out and, hey, what's going on? You know, yeah. Especially in NorCal. I don't know about this area in particular, but it sounds kind of rough.
Woodbridge, I'm not too familiar with, but I mean, he knew the neighbor knew him, so yeah, like maybe he did get his ass kicked in spar and just needed to take it out on somebody. I don't know, man. Didn't say much about, you know, why he did it or anything. He's out on what, $700,000 bail though. That's pretty large.
Yeah, no, he's not getting out. That's too much fucking money, man. I don't know how you put that collateral up.
That's a huge number.
Yeah, well, because I mean, from the injuries, bruises, cuts, broken bones, possibly broken jaw, fucked up his eardrum, collapsed lung. I mean, he fucked him up.
Damn, dude, Jesus, like, did he like look at him wrong or something? It's his fucking neighbor. He's seen him probably daily.
You know, what I was saying earlier with like my mind goes to that weird spot. I sometimes wonder, like, again, not to say that he was justified, because you got to assume that this guy's a victim and not he had it coming. But in those scenarios, this like, did he fuck his girl? Did he?
Yeah.
His sister? You know what I mean? Like something he fucked with his family. He threatened his mom. You know what I mean? Like something that like he was gonna seek revenge because he really fucked him over somehow. But yeah, he's a 19-year-old kid with a lot of fucking hormones and a lot of probably anger. And again, pandemic never helps in these situations. He's probably stressed the fuck out and desperate and just wanted to beat the shit out of people.
Probably told him to put a mask on or something.
Oh God, fuck.
He's like, fuck you. I remember that shit.
Man, I want to laugh at that, but as someone who has to work with fucking people like this every goddamn day, it's not so fucking funny.
It's not anymore, man, when your people are getting shot. It's not anymore.
I know of a story not too far from where I live at a local grocery store that two dudes got into it, a customer and a possible employee, because they didn't want to wear a mask, and they fucking threw down outside the parking lot, and the employee got fucked up, I guess.
Jeez.
Yeah, so this is going around, man. I mean, it's topical. Good on you for that one, Rain. But oh man, it does worry me. It does worry me because I'm still on the front lines, as they say.
Damn, dude, it's crazy, man.
I guess the moral of the story, because this one isn't that one funny. It's just we tend to highlight funny stories and ridiculous stories. It's definitely on the ridiculous side, but I guess the moral of the story is keep your guard up. Literally, man, people are nuts right now.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what side you're on. Doesn't matter politically, mask, no mask, shut down, no shut down. COVID's bullshit. COVID's very serious. Everyone's acting crazy right now.
Yeah.
Be aware of your surroundings for sure.
Yep. Mind your business.
Yeah, and then something that you and I have talked about, Rain, maybe this is a good maybe this is very obvious, or maybe this is good advice. If you live somewhere where they mandate masks and you see someone without a mask, leave them be. As much as they may piss you off, it definitely pisses Reen and I off. She will attest to this, but mind your business, and get the fuck out of Dodge if you can, because don't bring more problems on yourself, and don't bring them closer to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because you don't know if they have it or not. And it's just not worth getting into fighting with these people or potentially being shot, because people are starting to carry their piece now, and majority of these people don't even know how to properly handle a handgun. So
yeah. The one time I would say, like, if you want to say something, if you're going to be that brave about it, do it because there's probably kids or elderly people around who might not be wise or brave enough to say it. I can see at least the cost, or obviously if you're with your wife and kids, that's a totally different story. But if you're by yourself and you can avoid it, just fucking avoid it, man. These are dangerous times.
Yeah, especially now with so many things that are happening, the housing market.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we have that issue going on top of the economy.
I will promise you guys that we will not stop talking about this. The question is whether we'll talk about it in the end, in the middle, or in the beginning. We may get real explicit with this and just get it over with. That way we can just enjoy MMA. This is something that Rin and I got to talk about as far as the format of the show, to try and make it enjoyable and not, possibly scare you guys to death. You were trying to avoid this shit. But this will most likely be addressed in the next episode. We're talking a little revamping right now. We got to hash out the details. But for now, this is it. This is it for tonight's show. I want to thank you guys for listening. As always, Reen, thank you for coming on. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at juice_MMA. Reen?
Foxwithia on Instagram and Twitter. Check out my Instagram page. I'm going to try to post more videos of me working out with my favorite new toy, egg weights. I don't know if you guys seen them or not. They're an awesome tool if you want to get in shape, if you want something portable without look like an asshole, carrying these little pink little hand weights around to do shadow boxing. Dude, you really need to check it out. Get some for you. Juice got a set. He's been working out with it. He posted a video with him shadow boxing. Hey, he's got me motivated, wanting to work harder now and post more videos. I would love it if other people would get a set and just post videos and make this a movement. Let's concentrate on getting healthy, get in shape. Just go out there for 20 minutes and shadow box. And oh, by the way, if you order a set of egg weights, you can get 10% off by using my code FOXWITHYA. All the sales proceeds will be going to a children's shelter so we can help the kids in need. We want to feed these kids. There are a lot of hungry kids out there right now. So whatever you can do, if you can't get egg weights because, it's possibly just too much right now, get a shirt. They sell shirts too. So anything that you can do to support. If you want to just donate money to us or something, hey, I'm all for it. We can open up a Venmo account or GoFundMe account or something, and make sure that those donations will go to to the kids. That's all we want to do is just help out and get fit at the same time.
Yeah, I really couldn't have said it better myself. Very good pitch there, Reen. And yeah, as we talked about earlier in the show, as to the homie that helped us out with those picks, we were trying to work on merch too. And whenever that comes out, you will be the first to know, and you will be our guinea pig. See if you like it or not, man. So we'll keep in contact. Thank you for all that. Thank you guys for listening. We'll leave you be. Thank you for putting up with us. So catch y'all next week. Later.
See you.